What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Plays Live. I'm James Duggan. This is CJ Gibson. We're going to be playing Destiny 2 on PC, which just came out this morning at 10 a.m. I was hoping it was going to come out late last night, so I kind of stayed up past my bedtime.
Did you get much? Okay, you have a single Titan here.
I have a single Titan, yes.
There you go.
I haven't made my second or third Titan, as is customary.
Ooh, need those drops, eh?
So in this stream, you'll see two grizzled Destiny 2 veterans griping about the endgame, but me as a PC-first player, I'm just really excited to play it here on PC.
I mean, it's interesting. I will say that I'm excited to play it too. Obviously, just waiting in the wings.
He's going to try some controllers.
I'm going to try some later on.
Big divisive topic, if you are unaware and thinking about picking this up on PC. During the beta, you could play with the controller, and that enabled aim assist, much like Overwatch did in beta. And that's great because it opens the floodgates for anybody who's coming over from Xbox One or PS4. Though, on the inverse of that, we have an issue where you can use an adapter called Zim, which basically registers your keyboard and your mouse as a controller.
We're not getting any sound. Can you go into your sound?
Yeah, sure. Let me just fix the sound here. So anyway, you can get an adapter Zim that registers your keyboard and your mouse as a controller, and that gives you the benefits of aim assist, though, of course. Let's see if that works. Yep, there we go.
And you did play with a controller as well when you were at the event.
Yeah, barely. Like, it feels great on a mouse and keyboard, and I don't want to understate how good this game feels on a PC. I think that there are a couple things, like the map, for instance. Like, there's they even increased the scroll speed. That was something that we had problems with at the preview event. But so basically, like, long and short of what I was saying is you can go into PvP, and you could be going up against people who are using aim assist on a keyboard and mouse, which of course is rough. I don't even think I want to be here yet. I think I should go back and do a couple public events.
So it's even interesting when you look at your menu and how this is accessible. It always seemed like it was designed for mouse and keyboard in a way. The original Destiny.
That's interesting.
Right? I don't know if you ever thought about that.
I do think, so the PC team for Destiny 2 at Bungie was responsible for taking the console version and making it feel good on PC, whether you want to call that a port or a version. That I think at some point is a subjective term, and nobody can say definitively it is or is not a port, because I think port is open to interpretation. But certainly, this feels great. The other big divisive point that we will talk about is a lack of general chat or clan chat in the current build, though clan chat I would hope is coming very soon. But like, if I see somebody in the open world, like this guy, dog connoisseur, say,
hey,
what's up? I can't really talk. I would have to...
Friend game.
I would have to say area, no. General, no. Barons... Stormwind, no, none of it works. So I would have to actually go up to this guy, and I don't even know, like,
you
how you do
punch
that.
him. And
I could punch him, but like,
him.
so I'd have to look at his name and then type /W and then his name and then hope that he had whispers on. So, like, what were they thinking?
Gotcha.
That's all I can say.
So can you actually go up to him and inspect him? Like, is there a menu where you can do that in the roster?
I don't really know.
Even? Yeah, go up to the roster. It will tell you who's actually in the fire team with you.
Well, he's not in my fire team, but...
you're right.
Maybe
in
like the area?
Planet, yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So
we're looking for dog connoisseur. Okay, so I could do that. So I could say details, and then I could say send friend request, invite. But look, that's three barriers. That's three menus I have to open, where I could just open a chat and say hello, and then also he has to then like look at his chat and accept that and respond in kind.
Gotcha.
So, oh boy, I got all these very high-level Legion mobs.
I was gonna say, thinking you're level 20. What level are you currently now?
7.
7.
We're gonna do this event right here.
Public event.
Which will be the Glimmer mining drill.
As a console guy, it's super weird now when you're hovering over a weapon, when you're seeing your menu, to see press E and right click and a mouse. It seems super off.
Man, but just from like a moment-to-moment gameplay standpoint and like a non-social structure kind of thing, this feels great. And I'm very happy with it. I think it's a really good base. I think they could take some feedback from the community on things like general chat or clan chat or easier ways to interact with people emergently, because that's the friend game, right? That's the joke, is the lack of incentives in the game. What you can do to circumvent that is just make a bunch of friends, but I can't even really do that in the PC version of Destiny 2. But
especially early on when people are just trying to figuring things out. Does feel a little bit, yeah, again, like a missed opportunity.
It looks really good. Despite all my gripes and complaining here, like, I really enjoyed the game when I played it on console. I know I'm going to enjoy it even more on PC. I can't wait to do the raid at uncapped frame rates. And yeah, I think it's a really good base. I don't want to give people the impression that I feel as though it's not of merit, because I think it's like a standout foundation for what could be someday, I think, a very good, long game with a lot of longevity to it.
Well, the end game, obviously, yeah, it's been a very hot topic, yes, the last few weeks here. So interesting. So now, having said that, does that kind of has that curbed your enthusiasm a little bit? That the end game, like, are you excited to play through it again now, or are you just kind of like, well, I know.
So knowing that at the very end things are going to get kind of convoluted and incomprehensible and not great in terms of progression, I'm less interested than I was before I even played it at all. But like, I think it could be much worse. The content is there if you want to do it. I think the strikes are great. The raid is great. I think the raid is really good. And, you know, I'm somebody who probably will grind out the prestige for the armor set. Just the aesthetics of it, I think, is cool. Hopefully they, like, patch that exploit, which was on Reddit last night. But other than that, like, yeah. And if you look at the PC release schedule, it's like event, season 2. So hopefully a little bit less. We're 10 seconds till this event starts, for those wondering what we're going to be doing. In the meantime, I'm going to check my settings, make sure I'm running at 4K.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
I'm not, actually. So let's get up to 4K.
Oh, sneaky.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Here comes the frame rate drop. Prepare.
Boom.
We are running on a PC. This is a Titan. Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Okay. Well, not running the stream at 4K. Sorry, folks.
It didn't like that.
No. So I played it at 4K at the preview event, ran fine. Maybe I just don't have the necessary drivers to do that on this computer, but hey, we tried. We are getting great performance, though. We may try that later. But let's do this event for now. CJ, what do you think? Anybody talking?
Yep. What are some of the questions here? I'm just going to surf through. If you have any questions, let us know. We are on YouTube as well as Twitch.
Oh, and man, being able to rebind keys is just so cool. Like, I have melee set to a mouse button.
That's so crazy, man.
It's really nice.
Seems so weird. Hey, Charles on Twitch. How's it going? Some guy named Stavru. What's up? How do mouse and keyboard feel for the game overall, James? Good question from Patrick Brown.
Superb. It feels really good. I'm somebody who plays PC first. I very rarely play console. In fact, the last time that I picked up a console was to play Destiny 2. I play... What have I been playing recently? I've actually been getting back into Titanfall 2, which is a very fun competitive game. Not necessarily the best feeling games in terms of like gun feel on PC, like a Counter-Strike or even an Overwatch to some extent. But man, this just feels great. Like, it's just right there. There are some FPSs that there is zero barrier for entry if you've played enough FPSs on PC, and this is one of them. Where I can play, you know, Killing Floor 2 or something, which is kind of this cool PvE game, and come right to this, and it feels very similar, and I'm able to just kind of pick up where I left off, so to speak.
I wanted you.
Yeah, I did. So I'm trying to trigger the heroic, but
yeah, it's weird how now at least some people feel like they know the heroic.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to get the heroic on this. And basically what I'm doing is to circumvent the level requirements for the quests that I still have to do. We can jump into Crucible here too in a bit.
Yeah. Somebody's asking, what is the minimum spec on top of your head, James?
You know, oh man, I was just looking at it the other day.
Yeah, I'll find out again. It is on their.
There's a big difference between minimum and recommended, and this is definitely on the higher end of like requirements, but also I think it's very well optimized.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not a game that you need to brute force your way to good performance because they haven't done their homework, so to speak. It definitely performs well when you have the required gear. I also want to say that I'm playing with VSync enabled right now because we're locked at 60. I could uncap that, but that might mess up the stream. But still, like, I don't know what's going on with VSync in this game, because VSync, and I got into it with this guy on YouTube the other day because he was like, "How dare you play with VSync on and call yourself an FPS PC gamer?" And yeah, it does. It adds delay, but I just don't feel it on Destiny 2. And when I enable it on other shooters on PC, I play for like 2 seconds. I'm like, whoa, no thanks. So I'm not sure what's going on with it, but man, it feels good. I don't know if that's just, I don't think, my monitor at work is not a G-Sync monitor, so not really sure what's happening there, but not complaining.
GTX 650 Intel i5, 8 gig RAM, says Super Cash Plays. Thanks, man.
Great, that's actually not that high.
If that is factual.
Sure.
A couple of people are asking, what is your sensitivity on the mouse?
I think my sensitivity is pretty low. This is not the
maybe
mouse
low.
I'm using at my desk, so I don't know what the DPI setting is, but like, maybe it's relatively high. I definitely subscribe more to the the class of low DPI and sensitivity and a lot of space to move.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get a lot more precision, but sometimes I like to keep it a little.
Tilt down, let's see that sweet glimmer. Let's see it.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
look at that. Look at the detail there.
And of course, you can buy nothing with Glimmer in this game. The currency gets you.
Nope. Or shards. Now you just bank them.
Yeah.
You just bank them. Maybe give 3 or 4 of them to Zur every
There's
now
some
and then.
there's some currency, and I can't shoot this invisible guy because I can't see him.
Yeah.
There's some currency and progression problems at the end of the game for sure, and this is
Yeah.
something that the community has made clear. And I think it was summarized best, and this I talked about this a little bit on Fireteam chat, but this guy posted on Reddit. I wish I could remember his username, and said, "This is not a content drought. This is an incentive drought."
For sure.
Totally
I
agree.
actually read that.
They have
as
great
well.
content. They have some content I haven't even done yet. So
Yep.
like, you cannot say that there's no content. It's just that the incentives
Yeah.
to do that content, and moreover to show that you've done that content to your compatriots,
Yeah.
doesn't exist. So like,
Which is weird because, I mean, in Destiny 1, it was so hard to complete some of these things, and then after you did it, you all looked the same.
right.
You had either Crota armor or the shader, this and that. So I think they did a great job with Infusion, which came along sort of like, you know, House of Wolves, just right around that ending. They did Etheric Light initially, and then the Infusion system later. But yeah, it's weird how you have all these shards from breaking down weapons,
Yeah.
and nothing
And
to do with
and
them.
Zur wants
And-
like 2 of them.
And Zur
Like,
only
please
needs
take
like
more.
how many? Yeah, it seems very odd. I'm not sure what was the purpose of that, actually.
The other thing too is like, you're able to show off that you've done the Prestige raid with your armor. You're able to show off that you've done Trials of the 9 with your weapons. So there are a couple of those, but like, what does your Sparrow say about you? What does your ship say about you in Destiny 2? All it says is I opened a bright engram. I either paid for it or I got it from leveling up. And either way, it's just not an interesting story. You know? So.
Is there somebody in the chat who's G? If you go into, if you load up the director there, and then go into roster. No, they must
Negative.
have bounced. They must have bounced.
Doug Connoisseur. Okay, let's
What
let's
is
see what we're gonna do next. Let's
everybody else saying?
jump into the Crucible, shall we?
Yeah, do it.
All
Now
right.
we do want to actually test a little bit of controller setup in the Crucible as well. So I'm going to
Sure.
let James rock it out. Now I will say one of the things I noticed with a bunch of your gameplay that I really liked was the fact that you can change the FOV.
Oh yeah, let's do that,
a few
guys. Why,
times-
I haven't even done that.
Yeah, a few
What am I
times I
thinking?
noticed with a lot of your gameplay, it was really wide. So wait, so by default it's 85.
By default, it's 85, which I
Okay.
think is probably what it is on the console. I'm gonna hit apply there,
Okay.
bring it up to 110, which again is not insane in terms of FOV. Some people play with like 180, but
Right.
110 is about where I kind of draw the line before I need a second monitor or a curved screen or something
Right,
like
right.
that. So that's fine. I talked a lot about in my preview about the hand cannon meta.
Yep.
We'll see, man. I think Mida is a force to be reckoned with in PvP, which is an exotic
For console.
scout rifle for console. But I really think hand cannons feel really good. We'll see if I eat those words in about 10 seconds here. But
It's weird, bro. I mean, Destiny 1 was a hand cannon game. Thorn, last word.
Right.
You know, then Ice Luna, Hawkman, so many. It seemed really odd, like playing the beta. I mean, you had 42 Better Devils. Was there anything else really that you could pick that was any good, or no? I think those were the main two in the
no,
beta.
and I actually think those are still, unless we're talking Sunshot, but
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've never really been partial to Sunshine.
Destin, you're on stream.
Oh, there's this guy named Destin. Where's
Chatting with
he
you?
at? There you go. You can now see how the chat. Oh, they can't see because our box, the picture-in-picture box is
Well, I'm
covering,
talking with
so
Destin. He's saying super fun chatting with you and you only. That is Destiny 2 in a
We'll have
nutshell.
to get that. All right, Altar of Flame.
We'll see how we do
James is
here.
gonna see if he
This
can,
is jumping right in.
mouse and keyboard gameplay.
I do have the war
This
rig,
is it.
so I will be getting some.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
All right, let's check it out.
Blade Dancer Hunter,
Oh,
fan
oh
of the
boy.
podcast. I notice you.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, bro. Thanks for being a fan of Fireteam Chat. Much appreciated.
All right, try hard mode engage, unless I do poorly, in which case I wasn't trying.
Oh, there you go. There's always an excuse. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. The Destiny players always have, oh, that guy had this weapon, oh, auto aim, oh, it's a mouse and keyboard guy.
Oh, there's only 2 players on the enemy team, so... But this could be one of those scenarios where they just kind of ghost us, you
Are
know?
you using a grenade launcher?
Yeah, that's all I
Whoa!
have at this point in time.
All right. Well, I stand corrected there.
So
Just gonna
ADS is definitely recommended, but definitely more optional than it is on console. I think the like the thing that I got a lot in my gameplay was, yo, you're not ADS and you don't know how to play Destiny. And to some extent, I think that's true in certain instances, but man, you just don't need to on PC the way you need to in console. Like, there's no aim assist unless you're cheesing it
Yeah.
with Zim.
So it's weird because Trials was canceled this week. I had a little flashback to a previous Bungie game that I played, Halo. So I did try playing Halo, and it is odd how you don't need ADS in Halo whatsoever, and it still feels great. So I'm looking forward to just seeing if it's a controller thing or is it a mouse and keyboard thing or
Sure.
the hand cannons. I'm looking forward to that meta being back.
Boy, I love hand cannons. I just really do.
They are good. They are very beastly. What is somebody else saying in the comment sections? Who's buying this game on PC? Press 1 into the chat. If you're buying the game on PC.
I am so curious to see some numbers.
Yeah, I mean, or press 2 if you're a console fan. Nah, you're not into the PC.
It's such an interesting thing that I can't think of the last time that a console game released a little bit late on PC, but to such anticipation.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just making that up.
Oh, no, because I mean, well, the longest time, like, Bungie's really only ever had, like, a couple of their shooters make it to PC, and it was years after. Like, Halo 2 ended up making its way to PC, but, like, almost into Halo 3, I think, or, like, very late in the Halo 2's life cycle. And besides that, yeah, they really haven't touched PC for the most part.
Yeah, I always want to pull up tab to see a scoreboard, and I will never not do that. I could play this game for the next 10 years, and I will not hit tab when I want to see a scoreboard and bring the ghost up. Hello, Guardian! Oh, dang it, not what I wanted.
Only 5 minutes left. You're pulling.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Keep it that way.
It's a mix. A lot of people are stoked, obviously, for PC.
No one's going to get this ammo, huh?
For
All right,
console.
fine.
Show your enemy what a real.
I really wish they would do some tweaks to this whole power ammo thing. Like, so one of the things that I've said for the last probably month plus on Fireteam Chat is Destiny 1 felt like a very team-centered game when it comes to sharing special ammo, sharing heavy, and I just don't understand.
I only have one. Got to make it count.
There you go. Oh,
Didn't make it
the
count.
bounce, the bounce. Look at that ADS. Oh man, you still did it.
Still did it.
Again, it's weird. It seems so frustrating that you don't share power ammo. Like,
yeah, it does.
Because I don't know how many times when I go to try to pick it up or vice versa, it always seems somebody's taking it from me. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That
So
was pretty
when you just line it up on the head, and again, like, there's no aim assist, so when you stick to the head, it's not just gonna, the reticle's not just gonna follow. You actively have to chase it.
Yeah.
So in a way, like, I think target acquisition is much faster on PC. Precision is much better on PC. Being able to do a whip 180 and see who's behind you is much better on PC. But I think once you've actually locked into the target, if they're moving around, it's a little tricky relative to console, where at that point, you're not really thinking about it, right? You're just shooting them.
Check out the roster here for a second. Someone says we're playing with Sir Demetrius. Are we? I'm not sure. Oh, Sir D. There we go.
D. Who's that?
Oh, yeah, he's a freaking crazy console player, man. He's
Well, he's doing. I can't tell. I think he's doing pretty well. Yeah, he's top of the team.
Yeah.
He'll
crush.
Unless that menu is not based on.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the real Sir
But
D.
we have the enemy team here is just quitting out as I run for my life.
Yeah. So 28-3. At what point in time would you want a mercy to
I think
activate?
this is. I think like a vote at this point is about the time.
Could the team actually just be going out like, hey guys, let's just end this match. We'll give it to you.
Sure.
Let's get our drops at the end of it. I mean, this is
Well,
the
that's
thing
the
that
thing,
I
right?
don't
You
like,
can't. You can't
Yeah.
give the same rewards for people who choose to mercy surrender.
yeah.
30-3. This is rough.
Now, I can't remember what the base stat is for mercy. I think it's something like, a discrepancy of 20 plus with like somebody not getting over 10 kills.
They get some power ammo there?
Yeah, we'll see if you guys actually do.
And it's not super fun from a dominating perspective either. Like, a win's a win, so that's cool, but also, like, I'm don't have a lot of targets to shoot here.
Well,
so
the problem is a win in
around.
this game really doesn't mean anything. Without, like, a rank crucible setting or anything where, it's nice to get gear, especially when the game's starting out. Oh,
he's below me.
get him.
Come here.
There you go.
Come here, you. Popping supers on a 2-stack there, because that's all I can do.
So weird. Oh, there, that guy just robbed you of the head.
Oh, that's okay, man.
The power. Imagine
I
that.
don't think we need to be particularly discerning with
You
who
needed
gets the
that
ammo.
power. You needed that grenade launcher. Kill.
I'm really surprising that this isn't queuing people up into this.
Yeah, a click. Is there anybody else?
No, man.
I mean, if they have, they just left. Again.
Yeah, I also noticed that with public events, I did a public event by myself, which is strange. But the other 2 public events I did were full, so I get to render a verdict there. Yeah.
There is not a ranking system, Turtle, really, at all for this
Is
game.
there MMR? Like,
I mean,
there must be, right?
So there
'Cause
is
otherwise
some
I'm just
kind of
gonna-
stuff like in the back end of, when you check out your stats on, trials report and all that other stuff, but there's nothing in game. So that's the thing. Everybody wants to see an actual in-game ranking system.
I also noticed more so than other games, for better or worse, because I think there is an argument to be had about letting teams queue up into solo players so they can stomp. That's the thing that in Destiny, like when you queue up with a team in Overwatch, you always get another team.
Right.
My experience with when you queue up with a team in Destiny, sometimes you'll get a team, sometimes you'll get a bunch of solo players.
Yeah.
And in which point you just kind of destroy it.
And to me, that's the issue right now. I mean, we talked about that on the last Fire Team chat, where you're going in solo and you get matched up against a team, especially when you start seeing different clan names. You kind of understand if they have all the same clan name, they're probably all on the same team.
have full ammo.
It's pretty frustrating. Like, it's
Yeah,
already
right.
bad enough with this game that you have to roll together with at least another guy or as a team, but it definitely does make it a less enjoyable experience if you're going in solo up against a team.
So a close match here.
Yeah.
Barely pulling this one out. We'll see if we do it.
44 to
We have-
6, just go
we have
right to the
15
bitter
seconds
end.
left.
We
See if we can get a grenade.
We wouldn't
killing.
want to mercy the game. I mean, they clearly might come back.
Oh,
Ooh.
I've seen enough.
Oh,
Calling this
he's seen enough.
I've seen
8
enough.
seconds left.
I've seen enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what was
It's
the discrepancy?
mathematically impossible for them to
45 to 7. It takes you...
get 46.
Or but it's like he said that I think
Oh,
at like
sure.
45 or 46. So, geez, you
Takes
gotta
you
be
a
up
while.
by like 30-some points in order to get a mercy? Yikes, man.
Sure.
Ugh.
I don't know. When you're stomping, you do want to stomp, though.
I guess.
I
but
think
that,
I
like,
think that there is, with all these design
Certainty.
decisions. What did I do? Oh, I did the worst. But still,
24.
11.0 efficiency is the worst. I'll take it.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, 11 and 0.
There with all these decisions, I think, no general chat, aim assist, no mercy, and maybe queuing teams into solo players. The thing is, these are not objectively bad. There is a subjective argument to be had with not having a general chat. As much as I'm a person who thinks that's a ridiculous idea, and that's what PC was built on, there are benefits. Like, you're not going to have negative user experiences because it's too hard to interact with users. Though I would posit there will people who will be motivated enough to try and add you, right, and then talk smack, a la Hearthstone.
Right.
But
so that's what I was gonna say. Right now, if you go in, like, you check the roster, right, you can see who your opponents are. So go in and check roster. So you can see those guys are your opponents. Well, you can't tell who's on your team or who's your opponent. But click on the guy, like anybody. So how could you send this guy a message? You
Send
just
friend
do a
request.
Friend request.
Right.
First. Oh, so
I
you
would-
need to accept it.
Or
and
I
then-
could type /W, which is going to bring me into Whisper, and then type his name and hope I think it sends. But basically, if you want to do that, you have to go into the options menu.
Gotcha.
To pull that off, I would have to go, I mean, I could do it right now.
Gotcha.
Let's see. So options, open settings, accessibility maybe, network, no, gameplay, gameplay, text chat, there we go. Profanity, Whisper chat, friends, and fire team and clan, I can change it to everyone, okay?
Gotcha.
Manual opt-in, I can also change that to automatic opt-in. So there are those options, but, I don't know, man. I just like I think you put a language filter in the game, right?
Yeah.
I think that you have obviously it's a moderation resource thing at some point, but that's just something that I want.
Yeah.
And you know that's well within Bungie's like there's not a social injustice occurring. Like it's a decision they made,
Yeah.
and they have the reasons, and that's fine, and we have to respect that unless they feel as though the feedback is strong enough to the point where they're going to change it. But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you shouldn't still speak your mind. Oh, this is going to be bad news.
Oh. There you go. Nice
Second
recovery.
with the AR. Oh, the SMG is brutal. I should have
Man,
waited
it
a
just
little bit
seems-
longer to
it
walk
just
back into
seems
that.
So crazy how when you're readjusting your aim on PC, like what it looks like in comparison to console.
Yeah, it's very jumpy, but that's kind of the twitch, you know?
It is. The Twitch, speaking of.
They have no... Oh, secures yet. Okay. How's Twitch doing? What's up with
Hey,
Twitch?
Duggan and Guy I've never seen before. What's up? I'm not even going to attempt your name, but I appreciate that.
Okay, come on.
All right.
Kazakage? Oh, what's up, bro? See, we go way back.
There you go.
We go way back to the...
I'm CJ.
He's CJ. He's a real cool
Nice
guy.
to meet you.
He's a video producer, but also quite good in
This-
a podcast or
This
hosting
is why
situation.
you know I'm one of these console guys. you
Yeah.
know?
There are slanderous words that are associated with. That
That's okay. That's okay. I don't. There's no ill will.
was not
Yet.
great. Oh, we got some boys flanking.
Do melees?
He's trying to snipe. Can he snipe?
Do melees
Nope.
also not have aim assist like the Warlock melee? Does it
Boy,
kinda pull
good
you around?
question.
Yeah,
Really
that's-
good question.
that's,
I
from,
not something I've tested, but that's
yeah.
a great idea. to do
Dolomite.
that.
Keep this up and the
Another
battle
stomp.
is yours.
I'm gonna chalk this up to unfortunate matchmaking for the enemy here, as opposed to like I don't know. And again, this is another 2-stack. I don't know if people just quit or what.
I mean,
but-
are you still playing with Sir D and everybody else in the last game?
So yeah, aim assist is definitely still there with
Is it?
melee.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yep. Aim
felt it
assist
move me.
is there.
It's more of like a magnetic thing. I would even hesitate to call it aim assist. It's just straight up like kind of looking in their general direction. Okay,
Nice
so we
to
got
meet
a
you
third
as well.
player queuing up.
Nice to meet you as well.
So no Sir D this time.
No Sir D.
No, so
You guys
it's
still
not just
stomping.
the same stack. It's just happen to be folks who are good at
5
the game.
minutes remaining.
Checking more of the chat here. See what people are saying. Matt, what's up? Need a shout out? How's it going, man?
You see, some people get salty with giving people in chat shout-outs. I'm like, nah, dude. I'm not gonna win
Appreciate you
that.
guys are here.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think I've seen Matt in
What's
the,
up, Matt?
in the Fire Team chat comment section on YouTube.
Storm the gates.
Oh, Vostok. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
First time seeing it in 60p. Pretty sweet.
Wish I could bring my face closer to this monitor, but you know, that's okay.
So right there, that's another thing where, I mean, as a console guy, I'm used to sitting back and chilling out
Sure.
at a TV. Right now, you're probably,
good.
so Duggan is probably about like 5 feet, you say?
Too long. Yeah,
6
too
feet
far.
away? Is that far for you?
That is.
Yeah.
I like this is cool because I'm on a mouse and keyboard and I feel good, but I hate sitting on the couch and playing games. I know that sounds insane,
crazy.
but like,
I mean, so for
the way
me,
it is.
I think that's the other thing. I actually, being hunched over a mouse and keyboard, like, I've not really been a
Come
fan
on.
of. Oh, Duggan, get that guy, get him!
did he run?
And he did.
That's
Oh,
right.
juke. Oh,
Got me. The bait and the switch.
that third kill, Duggan. You heard
Yeah.
that fourth kill there.
Fourth kill. Well, we've died more than that. They just haven't collected the orbs.
That's
This is
right.
everybody's favorite game mode. It's called
I'm
Supremacy.
calling this one.
Yeah. They had a comment from Chastity. She's only played as a warlock. What class should she try next?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say Titan. I think like Titans are just powerful and good and fun and easy and they look great.
Chastity. Hunter always. Hunter for life. All my hunter brethren. Tell her. she
Literally
needs to be a
everybody in the
hunter.
office who's a hunter's like, I just don't like it anymore.
Yeah,
so I'm
I know.
switching.
It's painful. I'm just trying to recruit as many hunters as possible, but it does hurt me to the core.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
Hunter,
that,
yeah, Mitch is Hunter, producer's Hunter. Hunter is good, but some of the mobility stat, treatments to,
I'm gonna do one more Crucible and then I'll let you jump in.
All right, and then we're gonna see a little
shot.
controller action on Crucible.
I would classify my performances right now as okay.
Yeah, I mean, the problem
could be
is
worse,
you
it could be
guys are
better.
not really getting in good games. You're getting in with people who are playing, like,
Sure.
pretty, they're getting warped a little bit.
I will say Destiny's. Oh, hey, I'm eating a salad on stream. What's up? Cheers.
Lunchtime stream.
I didn't even think about that. I'm such a compulsive vegetarian that I just went for it.
Is the game worth it, Joseph? Very
There's a
difficult
long answer
question.
there.
Exactly. That is not a 2-second answer. I will say for the most part, yes. If you're a shooter fan, if you're kind of like what we're calling looter shooter, MMO fan, I mean, you can speak more to the MMO side of things.
Sure.
How do you feel Destiny stacks up?
I think the way that if I had to describe it to a friend. In fact, I was texting with a friend yesterday who was asking me if he should get it, and I said, it's a really good foundation. The raid is really good. The content, for the most part, is really good. The itemization is in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
And they need to do a lot of work there, and they need to do work on incentivizing things. But in terms of a foundation, and like the whole thing with MMOs for me is getting in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So that for me
Early
makes
on.
it a no-brainer. Obviously, not everybody thinks like that, and I actually think you'd probably be more disappointed from a PC shooter or purist standpoint if you bought this game, like without being interested in progression. This might be the game where we get stomped. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Destiny 1, and again, Bungie in general, their foundation is so PvP based that for me, that's the whole reason why I actually started playing Destiny 1. So I probably played 3 or 4 months of Destiny before I even really cared about PvE.
boy.
Like, I actually didn't play a lot of PvE until you had to start getting weapons. And then once the weapons were,
Dead.
once you started getting these crazy weapons from the raid and stuff like that, like Vex with the class, and then for me, I was a big fusion rifle guy, so I loved. What was it? It's not from the. Oh, now I'm blanking on the initial raid fusion, but it was pretty baller. Somebody help me out, Destiny 1 fans out there. Initial raid fusion. I'll remember it after you say it.
So I think
it was Purifier, but Paper
Sure.
obviously was the hand cannon.
from a very basic standpoint, items exist. Oh, geez. Because he's using the rally barricade
is, there he is.
not too great effect.
Praetorian foil, thank you. Some random guy in the chat there.
So itemization I think exists to both progress your character. Oh, geez. As well as to incentivize content, and it's great when it does both, right?
Yeah.
So the content becomes enhanced when there are good items to get, and vice versa.
Yeah.
See, there's an example where I did an ADS, and it was totally. I think it went better than it would have had I ADS'd, because I was just able to, from the hip, get 2 headshots there. Felt really good.
Yeah. The Future, what's going on, man? The Future's been a Fireteam Chat fan for a long time. Yeah, the hand cannon game definitely, it needs a bit of a buff right now on console in general. It's good to see you rocking it here and doing pretty good overall.
Yeah. See, like,
there it
no
is.
ADS there. That worked really well.
Yeah.
This might. We'll see. No, that wasn't me. It was somebody else. Oh.
What can stop
There you go.
if you fight together?
Yeah, it feels good. I think it's just the best feeling like class of weapon in Destiny 2 PC.
There you go. See, like, that is almost impossible to do on console. It really is.
Oh, this guy popped.
Like, and it was so easy to do. Like,
Yeah, it was.
so easy
It
to
just
do in
feels
Destiny 1,
good.
man. Oh, Ice Luna,
Could go
Hawk
your
Moon,
way.
Last Word early on. Oh, so good.
I'm gonna get that because I know they're gonna go for the
Palindrome
secure
was
there.
another good
I'm
one.
gonna go for the heavy ammo here though. Oh, bad idea. I'm getting-
Features
I'm getting
Features
surrounded.
here to see me play on controller. I'll queue up the next round of Future.
So, oh, geez.
JK.
So there is a really good example of a trade where the guy just didn't even do much.
Yeah,
Because if you can just be on point with the hand cannon and do really well.
yeah.
So this is definitely my best performing game in terms of, like, I feel like it's a good game and there's some good competition here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm doing pretty okay, pretty good.
Now, there are some decent raid weapons right now from
jeez.
the... Duggan's on run. Get that shield up. Oh, now you're getting
Oh, never
flanked.
mind!
welcome to the team game.
The team game.
That's where you can't run for long.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like being in a flood or a wildfire or some kind of like natural disaster where you can just find yourself all of a sudden, the tide is turned on you. And you're like, oh my goodness, and there's just nothing but enemies around me, and there's no way to get out of this.
I will say, on the time to kill side of things, I personally am a fan of Destiny 1's time to kill. It's a little
like
faster.
it shorter.
I like
But man,
it
on
shorter,
PC,
yeah.
see how quick
Well,
it
that's
is?
the thing
Like,
with hand cannons watching you in action. Yeah, the frame rate does seem to add like a the pseudo faster speed. I mean,
check this out.
besides the obvious frame rate difference.
okay, here we go.
You know what's funny though? What I will say is now that the game.
There we go.
Again.
There we go. That's how Captain America does it.
You hear Shaxx in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Wow. The funny thing is, it literally looked like you were in slow motion. And you're like,
Yeah.
At 4K or at like 60 frames, it looks odd. You're like, let me pop my shield.
Yeah, right.
3 minutes left.
It
Casual
feels really
little
good.
saunter.
And that's an
It looks
example of
slow.
that's an example of a big play, and that's something that I missed, I think, from Destiny 2 in terms of supers. I don't know if it was just on the console, maybe my play wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
But like that's what a super should feel like. Obviously, you can't have a super get a squad wipe every time, but it feels really good. It feels like popping an ult in Overwatch to great effect.
Yeah.
But you do only get like 1 or 2 supers a match
Stronger
in
Well,
Crucible.
that's the other thing. It's like, even after the comments from the beta, I thought that they were going to increase the super like generation way faster. In Destiny 1, you can almost get a super like 2 to 3 times a game minimum, and this you'd be lucky if you can get that second super.
Now you're fighting with heart.
Oop, mine.
Oh. Get out that that void. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, our team does not need my help here.
You guys are stomping.
And this is cool because this is one of those games that we kind of came back from at the start. And, you know, it does. To be fair to the matchmaking, like it probably takes a couple of times to like place your skill, and
Nothing. Double down.
it's not just going to know right away. So the first games will probably be the most uneven.
Do you have any snipers in your
I do.
power weapon slot? Why don't you give one of those a shot? People are wondering what
I'm good.
sniping looks like. You're good? Come on, show the fans your sniping
fine, I will.
action. This is power.
Oh, there's
right
power
over
ammo.
there.
All right, let me switch real quick.
There's a guy behind you, though. There's a guy behind
Uh,
There you go. There you go. Get it. Get it. Get it.
Here comes some
Oh,
whiffs.
this guy's gonna crush you from behind.
All that ammo in
Oh!
Yeah!
Oh,
All right, so there's a
my
little bit of sniper
goodness. Here comes some whiffs. Boom. Clip
No
that.
scope.
Clip that for James Duggan.
Oh, now the whiff start. Oh,
That was
great.
That was pretty dirty.
That
There's
was
a
a good
few
moment.
times where
That
you're
was a
gonna
good
want to
moment.
save a moment from a stream. That was
That
disgusting.
was one of them. Let's put that on Twitter.
Wow.
Here comes some whiffs. No scope. You know, that was all skill and no luck is what I'll say about that.
Right, yeah.
Now I'm surrounded.
What sniper do you have again? Don't look now, but we'll take a look after. That was
Trash.
hysterical. Oh my, you will never do that again.
It's true. I'm glad I did it on stream though. Hey, I got that guy. That feels good.
Oh my god. No. That was pretty good.
got 30 seconds.
Aimbot.exe activated. Yeah, there's the PC glitching that we all knew was coming, everybody.
All right, super's up. 18 seconds left. We're gonna pop here.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go nuts.
Stab. Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, come on,
Get him! Jump! Go off the
Get
ledge
out
and
of there.
get him!
See ya, buddy.
Dance at him.
Oh!
Ah,
That was a good way to end. That was fun.
Wow.
All right, that was a good game.
Absolutely
Finishing first
scripted.
on the team.
Everybody's saying like, there's no way that actually happened.
Yeah, and that's an example of
pretty
something
funny.
that can only happen on PC unless you have 10 sensitivity.
Oh.
3.7 efficiency.
Man.
That was good. That was a good match. All
That
right.
was pretty funny. You want to plug this controller in?
do, yeah.
Should we give the fans what
Here
they
it
don't
is.
want to see? Whoa.
So, like, you know, anytime you post any kind of video on IGN talking about, there you go,
Okay.
talking about keyboard versus controller,
Okay.
I'm very much of the opinion that, like, mouse and keyboard is superior, XYZ, blah, 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 but ultimately, it's up to personal preference, and folks in the comments will echo that. I have to,
Look at how the mouse changes. So when you touch the keyboard,
yeah, it
and then
changes to your mouse. I'm going to put this down, actually.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the Xbox controller. I do want to try one of each because you said that you played with the PlayStation controller, right?
Yeah.
At the event. It's too bad we didn't have an Xbox Elite controller here, actually.
But
Remember this, James? I am a green thumb.
okay.
I actually got it set here already. And look sensitivity.
Well, hopefully
I don't
this
have
should
a
just
4.
change the controller presets, right? Not the mouse.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to stay like this forever
Yeah, perfect.
in that case.
James is never using a controller, is what he said.
But there's a lot of comments on the videos from people who are honest enough to admit that they're using a controller. You'd be surprised how many people do use a controller on PC. I'm not counting myself as one of them, so that's definitely me dodging this whole debate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, hey, if that's what you grew up on, if that's how you game,
Yeah.
then you plug it in and it works. And I think that's great. And the
Yeah.
game that I initially was against and came around on was Battlefield 1.
Okay.
I hated that people could compete with a controller or
Right.
do better than me with a controller. But then I eventually came around to a place where I was like, look, I feel good on mouse and keyboard. They feel good on controller. Let's fight. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do think that in Destiny, outside of the context of Zim, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, I think including a controller, an aim assist on controller, is a good thing for the player base.
Right.
Obviously, that's subjective. You could have another opinion and think that the competitive environment in PvP is more important. That's your prerogative.
Yeah. Well, and like we had that chat too again. Like, there's currently no competitive. Like, so two things I am noticing. This is my very first round
Sure.
of PvP with a controller on PC. The field of view is a huge difference. Like, especially as I'm jumping, the game feels very wide. Like,
There you go. And here's an example of like that
is up
that
with
would have been great
that?
on mouse and keyboard too. That was a great play. It doesn't matter if it's on controller
I
or
don't
on mouse and keyboard.
understand though why it feels different even with a controller though. Because right now, again, I'm
Sure.
a huge hand cannon guy from Destiny 1. I cannot hit a hand cannon shot if my life depended on it in Destiny 2 on console.
Maybe this is your place to play.
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, I am gonna play on PC, at least for PvP.
I think
Me
the fear
too.
with everybody, nice. The fear with everybody with Destiny 2 and the PC version was that Bungie was not going to respect the space. I think that they've made decisions that cater to their player base in some instances, but ultimately I think they've done a great job respecting the space. I think on mouse and keyboard, it feels good. Like, it
Yeah.
feels really good.
Where's
And
that timer? Oh, there it is. 14 seconds.
I knew it right away in beta. So we'll see where people land. And we did an interview. It was a roundtable. David Shaw was there, who's the PC Project lead. Very knowledgeable dude, very objective dude. And he said he's going to keep his ears up. Like, that's, no matter what happens, like, they're going to be receptive to community feedback. Obviously, they're going to
Oh, the sniper's ADS is really slow.
pick their battles, I think. But
I'm used to having the raid sniper. It's so much faster.
oh yeah. Also, the
ADS.
zoom on, like, more zoom is almost an objective detriment.
Detriment. It really is.
Like, look at that. That's
Yeah, it's
brutal.
disgusting.
Even like a red dot would be much better.
I'm just trying to actually find somebody so I can actually see if I can kill them. Where is this guy?
So far, so good with a hand cannon, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boom.
Nice. That was great.
All right. Oh, there's another guy over here, maybe. Yeah, this sniper is terrible. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you hit that shot, actually.
Never tell me the odds.
Oh my goodness. It's so bad. Oh, I got one shot with it, so.
Man, my MMR is going to be out of control, and I'm going to get so stomped when I go home. 'Cause this is what? 5 wins?
Oh, dude, yeah, look at that range.
I mean, there's still time to turn it around, I suppose. You're not that far ahead, but looks like your team was very together. I do think, like, the biggest way that I've changed my Crucible gameplay from when I started is just trying to find my team and stick with them.
Yeah.
That just seems to be what it's all about.
Well, that's okay. It does feel, yeah, I feel like just the frames help it. I don't
Sure.
know if I'm,
So something that's worth mentioning, you may be wondering, like, we're talking a lot about hand cannon and how it's good on PC, or feels really good, and how I think it's very viable, in a way that it just isn't on Destiny 2 console.
yeah.
Why? Are the stats different? And the answer there is no. Right now, statistically, weapons are the same with the exception of recoil. Models, so when you plug in a mouse and keyboard, your recoil comes down across the board.
Yeah.
Things like reduced recoil, excuse me, something in my throat. Ooh, ooh. Nice. Something like recoil reduction does still help, but to a lesser extent, obviously. So when you plug in a controller, all those presets go back to the way they were on console. Nice.
Reload.
So it's not like you're playing with a controller with aim assist and reduced recoil. That's not happening. And the other thing that isn't happening, as far as I'm aware, and as far as we can tell, is things like damage fall off are not different. So like the hand cannon has some problems with damage fall off at really big ranges. And like for whatever reason, it feels really good on PC. It's not because it's statistically different, at least that we know of. Somebody could do some work in the back end to figure out that for sure. But like the developers said point blank, you know, it's one design build. We may deviate at some point if like one weapon, let's say Minuet 42, just is out of control for whatever reason, and they don't want to nerf it on console because it's not doing well.
Yeah.
And it's doing too well on PC. They have the ability to kind of change that.
Dude, that feels way different. That is a 4-tap that I would never, that I would never get on a console.
Right.
Like at least right now.
Close game here.
Yeah, it is pretty close actually. Ooh,
Battle
their
is
head.
still close.
It does feel good. I will say that, I don't know if it's the field of view as well. Like it definitely.
I'm gonna steal this for
Yeah, yeah.
Not evenly matched.
Sorry.
Like I do feel like that has a bit of an effect to it.
No way.
Much as the frame.
I'm a Pog says no way you could play competitive with a controller. Your turn sensitivity is way too slow.
Yeah, on this it is. It's not only is it like. So that's another thing I was noticing with Halo.
You could fix that with an Elite controller potentially. Like you could buy one of those to increase your sensitivity, right?
Yeah,
and, whip, but
and at least within
seems
Halo and
complicated.
Titanfall as well, there's like acceleration and stuff like that with the controller. Where when I'm going left to right, it does feel very sluggish. And I wish there was a way to independently adjust the X and Y axis speeds because it does feel a little bit off.
Lobstrain says, how is anybody able to watch this and claim that auto aim is fine? I think, like, you know, it comes with its ups and downs. It's like you have reduced sensitivity.
Here we go.
Nice, dude. You have reduced sensitivity, so you're not going to be able to whip around as quickly, and you can still acquire targets very precisely with a mouse and keyboard. I don't think that can be debated. But look, if like a bunch of stats are pulled, and it seems like the majority of top players in PvP are using a controller, then I think we could get some re-examination. And that's a stat that they can tweet. And like, yeah, this is totally divisive. I'm not saying this is not an issue. This is absolutely something worth talking about.
I'm dead. Oh, I don't know
the
how
team
I
came out of
survived
nowhere.
Yeah, look at that range. There's no way. It does feel good though. It's funny how nice it does feel at 60. Nice little Dom blade action there from the team. Oh, I got a shotgun and freaking destroyed us all. Dirty.
That was a good no scope. Overlived that.
Yeah, that was
the rest of my life.
It was just hilarious that it felt like I queued it up for you.
No, it did. Nice.
Yeah, it's.
How do you feel like straight away in terms of, does this feel like a more dynamic environment?
Yeah, I mean, the speed is different. It feels like everything's moving in slow motion, if that makes any kind of sense. Like, it's fast frame rate wise, but it's different getting used to. I like it overall though. Hand cannons, especially here too.
You have to wonder at some point. So there's a trade that you lost.
Yeah.
You have to wonder at some point if that's just because PC players are not savvy to the team shot meta yet.
Oh, for sure.
And they will learn, and when Mida multi-tool comes in and people start unlocking that, if that will change. But so far, like, I'm having way more fun in Crucible now than I was on console with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, console Crucible right now is definitely
Nico. Oh, go ahead.
Off.
Nico101 says, get rid of the controller and plug in a mouse and keyboard. So I just played 3 or 4 matches with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, we're just trying it
really
out
good.
for the stream.
We're checking it out, and whether you are a PC purist or not, I'm very much on the PC purist side of things, and kind of like sarcastically be like, oh, everything's just better.
Efficiency 3.4, so
Sure,
the
there you
controller guy keeping up.
But the fact is, a lot of people are going to play it with a controller, so we're testing that out.
All right, so let's do one more with the controller here. I'm going to plug in the PlayStation 4 controller. That was on the Xbox We'll see if we plug this in, if it just immediately recognizes.
So the initial impressions, and obviously these are subjective.
Did I break it? No.
No, you're
you
good.
still have audio, Mitchell? I feel like the sound disappeared
Yeah, I feel like it did too.
when I plugged it in. I heard a weird.
And we're gonna go back to mouse and keyboard. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll do one
but-
more here.
All right, I'm gonna alt tab real quick, check some
Alright.
stuff out.
Just to get some sound going. When we plugged into the keyboard, kind of.
Yeah. It went to the
There we
the PS4 controller wireless headset
Oh,
or
right.
wired headset
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So now we are trying on the PS4 controller. It definitely feels like, yeah, like I need to have my sensitivity way higher, and I think I play on 4 on console. So, yeah, I wish there was an XY sort of sensitivity speed.
Zero Tool for Life, cool name, says, I don't personally feel this game has replayability other than leveling classes, the raid. The story is a bit short, not much content in it. So I think that the story content is, we were talking about that. Obviously
Yeah.
there was a lot of resources spent there, and that's something you play through once and you don't really play again. So, you know, whether those are better spent on the end game is, I think, worthy of debate, and I would say that the answer is probably yes.
Yeah.
In terms of content, like the amount of content in the game, I actually think the problem is more with incentives and what you stand to gain and earn. I think at some point, specifically at light level, whatever. I almost swore there because I'm so frustrated with calling it different things. But at light level 265, is it power level?
Power.
Power
Yeah.
power level 265. The itemization becomes very opaque. They teach you this itemization that the common gear is worse than uncommon, which is worse than legendary, which is worse than exotic. You know, legendary and exotic obviously go back and forth, but like that uproots itself once you hit 265. Now it's all about getting luminous engrams, which is something you haven't learned at all. So the itemization flips on its head as soon as you hit eye level 265, and then you realize there's this new metagame
There's
of
no way I'd have hit that.
nice of trying to get luminous engrams, doing your weeklies and your dailies, and your progression is kind of stretched out, but not in a meaningful way like it could be with something like Diablo 3 or where that game is now. So I think that the issue is less with the amount of content in the game. I think they're doing a really good job patching Iron Banner, Trials of the Nine,
Yeah.
Season 2 is coming up. I think the issue is with incentives. Obviously more content is always a good thing, but like look, they could add another strike to the game. They could add 3 more strikes to the game tomorrow. And I wouldn't experience that unless I had some incentive to do it. I might get it as a Nightfall one week, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, I'm not going to go do those strikes for the sake of doing new strikes. I need a reason to go there.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's the thing. Strike-specific loot.
But really
was-
good comment anyway.
Yeah,
So.
was something that came along later in Destiny 1, and I mean that, you know what, I read a lot of the comment sections of Fireteam chat. That's what a bunch of people are saying they're tired of hearing. They're like, oh, you know, this shouldn't be Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 year 1. It should be like Destiny 2, like, kind of, or Destiny 1 year 4 in a way, right? Like, it seems like they did a bunch of steps forward, but a bunch backward as well. So yeah, I get the people saying that they don't want to wait or feel a little bit salty on waiting for it, especially since it's kind of like, hey, you knew we like this stuff.
You figured it out
Yeah,
in
you
the previous
figured it
game.
out.
That
yeah.
feels really
like,
bad.
Yeah, like Rise of Iron as well too. Like they did such a good job with like Taken King and, you know, for Iron Banner and stuff like that. Yeah, it definitely does feel like a step back for sure.
We need a sign in the back that says testing controller.
So
Since anybody
even
is,
right
coming
now,
in.
like I don't understand because I am I'm like sensitivity 4 on
Oh, the trade, well done.
I'm
Look at this guy.
dead.
Is he trying to secure the kill?
So
All right, I'm
right
crouching,
now,
double tap.
I don't know why. I'm like sensitivity 4 or 5 on console, and right now I'm feeling like I need to be an 8.
Sure.
5 minutes.
Why is that?
Get some comments.
That's really weird.
Jesus says this man's using a hand cannon at scout range rifle. What
I
is
know.
this, D1?
I'm trying it
Yeah,
out.
I don't know, man. Something on PC, hand cannons feel great.
Yeah.
I've been saying this since I played beta, like hand cannon meta. I want to jump back over to mouse and keyboard and do Crucible.
Yeah.
And this is what I like with Crucible. You kind of get addicted to it. And you're like, oh,
Yeah,
this feels
well,
good.
and that's the way Destiny 1 Crucible was, and I think that there's something missing with the whole team shot game. Like, I've been playing lots on the weekends, and Trials wasn't activated this weekend, so I just played regular Crucible, and I'm like, there's just something missing a little bit. It doesn't have quite that fun factor that Destiny 1 had. Just a bit more frenetic, frantic, those kind of things.
Fireflox has a very interesting question. He says, hey guys, is this recommendable for a LAN party with 5 people? So content mostly is maxed out at 3, and then 4 for PvP, and then 6 for raids. So you would need an extra player. Like, I think it'd be super fun to do a raid with a bunch of folks in a LAN. Obviously, you can't play this game if you're not connected to the internet. So the assumption there is you'd be all just in the same room connected to the internet. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had a great time running through the raid the first time. CJ came and helped us out and basically allowed us to beat Callus on the first day. We were having some trouble.
And the raids are fun. Like,
yeah, they're really good.
That's the thing. I love this raid. I know people were thinking overall it was a little maybe heavy on team communication in comparison to previous raids, but I think they did a great job. And I do wish that there was a little bit more reasons to replay the hard raid, like or a power level increase and stuff like that.
Sure. Really good comment here from TPL Gaming, who says, I wonder how many people ended up buying the game twice. I'm curious to see how much more money they made off of this late delay for PC. It might be a thing now. That's a really interesting idea. I do think at some point they may be losing a little bit of money by not launching on the same day at PC, but you'd have to see the stats, and that's a cool cool thought.
So there it is, little controller Crucible action.
Nice, 3.6, so good.
Not too bad. I will say that it definitely does. I mean, it feels different than console for whatever reason. I don't know why my sensitivity is on 8, but 8 feels good.
Cool.
From a guy who's normally like a 4 or 5 sensitivity on console.
Are you more excited to play this now? Having checked it out?
So that's the thing. I'm a big Crucible guy, and I think that for the most part, as long as Trials feels, like there's a steady bit of competition there, I'm game.
Sure.
Like that's the thing for me. I've always said that Destiny, Bungie is a first-person shooter game developer. It always felt odd to me that initially they were making PvE content, so I didn't play a lot of Destiny 1 early on and was into PvE. So yeah, I really hope that this brings a lot more PvP style players into the fold again, and so lots more competition.
Rate my setup. I'm gonna give it a 2. Check out this cool mouse from 2004.
Exactly, we'll just get the monitor a good 3 or 4
and then
feet
we have
closer.
these, like, you remember in high school or middle school, or maybe you're watching this being in middle school, but like you had those desks and they had the whip around, like tiny little thing to write on. I have 2 of those.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that'll be my excuse.
I like Kenzie Cage. He's basically saying I had one job to make sure that controllers shine through on the PC platform.
Sure. I think you did. I think you did very admirably.
I did not too bad. I did not too bad. Wasn't the top of the list, but.
Well, to be fair, I only had 1 game on the top of the list. I like that the matchmaking is starting to pick up now, and we're getting some good 4v4s here.
Yeah. So it's so funny when I watch your movement with the mouse and keyboard. That's what I feel like I want to be able to emulate with controller. I know this is not
it's
possible.
Only one way to do that.
I know, but it's so weird because even overall.
Oh, the flank! That was really good. Wow,
overall,
2 of them flanked.
Yeah, it feels like I want to have a higher controller speed in this versus console. I don't know why.
All right, so that was a team wipe on their part. So we got to kind of rally here. I don't think rushing straight into power ammo is a good idea, like that gentleman just did.
Yeah. Daldoon says, always remember.
Dang, should have gone for double melee.
It's friendship. You're absolutely right. I love you, James.
Man, I love you too.
The best loot is
It's hard to do though on the PC version, because you can't general chat. You got to meet people through some other thing, like I don't know, maybe like a Reddit community meetup, or you got to make friends some other way and then come play the game with them, which is weird. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah. Here's a good question from Big Red. Do you guys have any opinions, positive or negative, on the different content modes in Destiny 2, requiring different number of players for your team? Would you prefer it was all the same? Do you have any comments on that, or did you hear what I said, or no?
No, I'm too. Sorry, I will be in 2 seconds.
I'll answer that. I think it's a little bit odd that there's so many different team games and sizes. I think one of the common comments is that overall, like when you're done raiding, 6 players and you're just kind of chilling out, it'd been nice to be able to go to a casual game of Crucible, 6v6. So I hear that
agree.
Comment.
Oh no, the flank!
Ooh. What I will say is odd is that The spawns in this game are very different. Now, I've even farmed people a little bit playing Iron Banner, where you just happen to be with your teammates, and once you've killed a certain amount of people, then you run to where you think the opposite spawn is going to be. I'm not sure what this game would be like if there were 2 more people in some of these maps. Like, granted, obviously, I can't remember. I think it's Distant Shores. That was the name of this map.
My team is just evaporating.
It feels odd, I think, to have some of the spawn problems. So I'm not sure what adding 2 more players would do into Crucible, but I think it would be kind of not great for a lot of these maps. Oh, get him!
There's 2 there.
But yeah, so I mean, that's Big Red. That's a bit of an issue. I do miss, and ultimately I miss, especially for Crucible, a lot of the game modes. I mean, right now, there's no.
I just think my team is around me. They're just not.
Yeah, there's no classic elimination, which is 3v3, which is the old Trials in Destiny 1. There's no 2v2.
Too much.
So there's a lot of different game modes that are missing. Ironically, there was 4v4, which there was not in Destiny 1, unless you played private chat or private matches. So yeah, it's a little bit odd that they haven't expanded on the game modes. Hopefully that happens in the first DLC though, because I think it's I think it feels like a bit of an oversight. Not an oversight, it's intentional, but I'm not
my
sure
shields
why.
go down somewhere? He just one-shot me with a melee. That's very strange.
Are you using an SSD?
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. Very good
Yes,
too.
he is.
Load times, which I think are kind of one of the larger issues of the console version, in terms of like where they could improve.
Yeah.
Not a problem on an SSD. Feels really good.
Nice.
All right. Well, apparently I should just be spamming SMG. That's the thing to do. Not doing too hot this match. We'll have to do another one.
Do we think 1 raid is sufficient for vanilla Destiny? Now, I mean, assuming you mean vanilla as in year 1. No, I think they'll probably have 1 more raid, obviously, here in the
Not feeling
next
good.
year. So, yeah, I think that they'll have 1 more here, hopefully by the end of the year. But no, to answer your question, I do not feel that 1 raid is sufficient. And personally, yeah, just thinking that a lot of Destiny 1 had a lot of new implementations. Like at the time, Iron Banner was new, Trials was new, Raids were new, Nightfalls were new.
Ooh, at a time, dude. These guys are on point.
Getting worked, man.
Yeah, they're coming around with these flanks.
Oh, here, just one sec. I have something that might help you out.
They all ran into my shield though, so that was good.
No, it's I mean, one of the things I was hoping from Destiny 2 was maybe a little bit more, I don't know what the right word is.
Je ne sais quoi?
Yeah, like innovation. Like they had a lot of new things for Destiny 1 that they just implemented. Now
Sure.
it's like they're bringing all the stuff from Destiny 1 back, which is great. There's not a lot of new things yet. I mean, if you count faction rallies as something that's new, it's like, okay, but it kind of seems a little bit just like more giving tokens to a bunch
Sure.
of, NPCs. So I don't know really what they could do, and I hope this first DLC has something new that's besides what we've already played in Destiny
1. Did he have a sniper?
I don't know, man.
I just got one shot. This team is good. Not gonna lie. I think actually, in spite of those awesome games I had earlier, this is kind of more indicative of what you can expect in terms of like solo queue with Destiny 2. You're gonna go up against teams that are definitely pre-made and are definitely team shotting and doing so well. Which team shotting, for those who aren't aware, is just everybody shooting at once and kind of hitting the same target, and you just melt.
Yeah, I really want to see CJ play with mouse and keyboard. I'm sorry to future, that will never happen. I have too much self-esteem and pride. I did try one time by myself when nobody was looking, and it was a disaster.
So to your point, like, I would want a Mercy now, though I don't think that's a good move, because I think, like, there is a world where you could come back and win this. It's just...
Well, and not only that, like the drops, it's like if the drops meant anything, you'd want to stick around to actually get the post-game stream for any kind of good drops. And now it's kind of like, well, oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Nicely done.
Come on. I wanted to get a kill off that deflection.
I mean, yeah, with a minute left, you're not going to come back, but I know what you're saying. That's the other thing I've noticed, that the matches in Destiny, they hardly ever go to the score. I'm not sure what their thinking was in the time length for the matches. I think in Destiny 1, somebody correct me if I'm wrong out there, Destiny 1
Only 1
fans,
minute
I think a
left.
match is 12 minutes long, and they almost always went to the score. This, never. It's just always till when time runs out, and it just feels a little bit odd. Was that your first super, this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I mean, first super coming at like a minute remaining, it feels pointless to me. Like, I'm not sure why there's no, there's a little bit more super ammo or super regeneration. Oh, James!
30
Nah,
seconds.
dude. Oh man, there's only 3 more left though, so I can totally. I thought that was an enemy. Oh god, it's gonna be bad. There we go.
This is the use. This is the freaking tutorial on best case use
Oh,
for your.
is that a?
For your shield? Get him, James. Get him. Oh, that was pretty good,
It's called
man.
the melee button.
That was pretty good, dude.
It's called the melee button, enemy team. You got to think. Why shoot him in the head if you can just melee?
Defeat comes for us all.
Eh. So there you go. Bouncing off that elo.
Uh-oh. Oh, James, you got a token.
Not everyone fights
I
to
did.
take back
Oh yes.
glory.
What are those two?
Rick-
I can't wait to see.
Redeem that.
We're gonna keep going with Crucible here.
Yeah.
Not great efficiency. 0.8. My first permanent mark on my permanent record of not having a positive KD.
Uh-oh, exactly.
God.
Say hi if you prefer year 1. Hi, Jonathan. What's up?
Year 1 what? This is
I'm
year 1.
assuming he
Dude.
meant Destiny 1. I was actually a very big fan of D1 Vanilla. What I liked about it, here's what I dislike. I feel there's a missed opportunity right now with all the cool weapons tucked behind power. Now, I understand they're thinking, okay, let's make all the one-shot weapons, you know, within the same class. But sniping, fusion rifling, shotgunning, pretty much everything but rocket launchers and machine guns, I miss playing Destiny in Destiny 2. And you don't get to play them anymore.
In PvP.
In
especially.
PvP.
Yeah.
So that, to me, I think fundamentally is the reason why I don't have as much fun in PvP anymore.
Yeah. When I saw you play Destiny 1 PvP, it seemed like a much more dynamic environment.
Yeah.
And I would actually even prefer like a less competitive context, like a
Yes.
kind of big team battle, if it means it's fun and dynamic and replayable.
Yep.
As opposed to one-dimensional. I would definitely describe, despite the fact that there's a lot of strategy at play, and you have a lot of room to get really good at it, I would describe Crucible as one-dimensional.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think they wanted to make it competitive in one way, and yet... No, that's not the right word. They wanted to make it balanced.
Sure.
And by making it balanced, they took out a little bit of the fun, a little bit of the, 1v1 matches, a little bit of that, hero moments. And I just don't know if it's the right play long-term.
Sure.
I'm still getting used to it. And like that was the thing I never had problems with Destiny 1. Like I went into PvP all the time because it was fun. Having a hard time sometimes finding the fun, especially solo.
Yeah, I think it's easier to find the fun in PvE in Destiny 2 for sure.
Yep.
But, PvE is one of those things that only lasts so long.
Yep.
Before you have to think about having new content.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've often said that, I played like a year and a half, 2 years plus of Trials. I wasn't playing for the gear.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing for the power level. I was playing because the game mode was super competitive and it was really fun. I'm feeling a little bit like that's not the case with the new Trials. It just doesn't feel the same. And that's not a gear thing. I just think, between like the weapons and the environment and the way you play, it's just, Oh, here we go, Fortress. Haven't seen this yet.
Haven't seen this yet. I'm not super familiar with this map.
Supremacy.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
I know my least favorite is definitely Legion's Fall, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like, it's not as bad on PC for some reason. It's difficult to articulate why that is. All right, let's stick with the team here.
Yeah, there's like a high traffic area on the right where there'd normally be a capture point there. Yeah, you're gonna get that little cave spot.
So you think like right here?
Yeah, up here and then to the left. Yeah, right there to the
we
left.
gotta-
of the
we
gate
gotta
where
get
that
out
guy's
of
in the
here.
hall. Yeah.
Oh no! He's hiding!
Run! How are you not dead? How are you not dead?
Is this part of the map?
That's Andre. No, it's not. I mean, you are until you go a little further. No!
Yeah. Yes, it
Wow,
happened.
the jump.
The turnaround, oh,
and
God!
Cannon. That's crazy. Man, I don't know where that balloon
He
was,
outplayed
but
me first, but I outplayed him second, and that's
Not
more
too bad.
important. Need to rendezvous with the team here.
Chaos is saying he thinks that static rolls made it less fun to try new guns in PvP.
That's really
Some
interesting.
Guns, yeah, well,
But how much
there.
of that, how much of those stats really made a difference?
I mean, so once you end up having a lot of god roll weapons, like I had a crazy god roll Iasuna with like rifle barrel, sure shot, and then rangefinder. So when you have some of those, you do notice a big difference. But some of that was the chase. Like that was some of the reason why you grinded out Crucible, because I mean I played like
Did I really die there?
how many hundreds of Crucible rounds, and I've got 2 or 3 Iasunas of like hundreds and hundreds of matches.
finish
So
it.
that moment where you did get the drop at the post screen was like, whoa.
Right.
You don't get that feeling anymore. And yeah, it does, because if you get the Mida, you know what the Mida is. You know, there's no testing it. There's no, oh, let me see if I like this.
So we had a big debate about that actually on like Fire Team chat. Oh no!
Oh.
Team shots. And I think static rolls in the context of a really interesting itemization and loot system and good grind are fine and even better. But like when you don't have that content, which is what we're seeing, like then you don't.
Yeah.
You know.
This is where again I think the mod system is a little bit under experimented or not fleshed out properly.
I did 1 damage with that grenade. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Man, look at that range.
Yeah. Range is good.
That's disgusting. And this is just like a friggin' chump green hand cannon. Or is this white still?
No, this is green.
Is it? But yeah, I definitely hope that the mods unlock some of the potential of what.
Where is my team?
Where are they?
Come on, guys.
Where are
Like, we're 2 of us are just standing there for like 15 seconds. Get on the same page.
they? Yeah. Luke Smith did make a comment about, how do we make your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th Better Devils, fun to do. And I think that that's where, hopefully, there's some kind of breaking down system. If you get a weapon and you break it down so many times, you get a certain mod for it or something. Hopefully that is what they'll be implementing.
This guy really still camping behind this rock and no one's done anything. All right. He's doing work, but he's on top of the other team. He is. I just have nowhere to go when you don't have a. You just don't have the team.
Dutch Noob, Destiny veteran, he is not feeling Destiny overall. He's saying that just kind of feels a little underwhelming.
Sure.
And a little disappointed. What I will say is that
Man, I missed all those. That was bad.
the hype for this game, I don't remember as much hype. Well, probably the original Destiny, obviously, but can you think can you think of another game that's had as much hype
Recently?
within the last like 3 or 4 years?
Oh, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, console or PC?
It's a really good question.
Because I mean, Destiny 2 had an enormous amount of hype, but so did the original Destiny. The difference is the original Destiny, we didn't really know what it was. So the expectation level, I think, from what it was supposed to be and what it was different. Now it's like people kind of knew what this was going to be.
Sure.
And now they feel disappointed that it wasn't maybe a little bit more than what they were hoping for.
Yeah. I think the reception overall has been much more positive than the first game, for sure.
3 minutes left.
Well, that's what's funny is that overall, I
Nice.
think.
Good play, guy.
Wow. Okay, blew himself up. I think that's the thing. Yeah, looking
I
back.
can't
at
even
Destiny
talk
1,
smack. Can't be like, nice shot.
Ah.
You blew yourself up, but
Yeah, is that people, they kind of gave Destiny 1 a hard time initially because I think there was just like an undefined, what was it supposed to be? Everybody talked about,
like, what is this?
Yeah, what is this? The $500 million campaign, all that business. So the expectations just felt like, not manageable. Oh, Jukes!
teammate with the
Chugging.
shots there. That was great. Good
Taking
job,
out
dude.
those crests. And this time around, yeah, I think for the most part, the reception from all the people that I've actually played with, and even people in the office, are people really liking the game overall. But the hardcore base is just not satiated.
Yeah, and that's a
know,
big problem
so,
because that's where the legs come from. But problem they can fix for sure.
Yeah,
All right.
that's the thing. It needs,
Got the super.
It might have needed a little bit more time in the oven for sure, but
All right, somebody else popped theirs, I think.
Take their lead.
All right, we're, dare I say, coming back a little bit. That was premature on my part for sure. I'll let that fly.
Halo 5 had a fair amount of hype as well. That's true.
Oh, it's definitely true.
Yeah, obviously for the campaign.
Boy,
as well
Warzone was so fun. That's a game that I would love on PC, and I know that's sacrilege because like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Oh, that grenade stuck.
Oh!
But he's still- oh, nice.
Destiny 1, man, that'd have been it for that guy.
Glory is yours.
Yeah, Halo 5. I actually just launched and played probably about like a dozen rounds of Halo 5 on the weekend, and it was amazing how.
Oh, I thought that was friend. I was like, thank goodness, backup. Oh wait.
Bang.
All right, we're coming back.
Yeah, Halo 5 still feels really good. I mean, hip firing and non-ADSing in Halo 5 just feels great. It's interesting. So, do you actually feel yourself going back and forth between ADSing and just hip firing? Or
It's situational. There we
Yeah.
go. That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
Like, in that instance, you have to ADS. If you have no time and you just have to kind of reaction shot, then just hip fire will do the trick.
Yeah.
Like there, for example, if I had landed hits, that would have been great.
Yep.
This turned out to be a good match. I had a lot of fun. Got 30 seconds here. We can still potentially.
close, yeah.
Now we need two team wipes. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And that guy's just popped his super.
Yeah,
So.
that might be.
Yeah. Show me.
Super
Show me.
versus Super. Oh, there you go.
Only 14 seconds.
10 seconds.
What is this? What is this?
Oh, that
crouch
guy, look at that
business?
guy. That was hysterical. That guy and his crouching. That was actually pretty funny.
You're beaten.
All right. Still
Boom.
lost, but I had a good time. That was much better than
There you go.
it was at the very start. I feel good about it. We'll do one more, and then I think let's jump back in and check out some.
Little
Unless-
public events.
Yeah.
All right.
1.5. I'll take it.
Let's ask the chat. Chat, should we do one more round of Crucible and some PvE?
I guess we have been on Crucible here for like.
We have been
10
for
games.
probably
All
about,
right,
yeah,
all right.
like half hour.
I'm having too much fun. Let's back out.
Don't adapt, James. Have less fun.
Exactly.
I know. And I think this is a really fun time to play Crucible because
Oh, yeah,
the meta is
early
not
on.
set.
Yeah.
Not everybody has meta.
Yeah.
All right, let's get an Nessus
James,
do
that's
some
the
campaign.
funnest part. Is
most
the
fun. It's the meta.
ADSing down the hall.
I'm really curious to see where this game ends up in like a year or two. There are so many routes they could go. They could go the getting rid of static rules route. They could go the randomized content route. They could. I think they could just do a better job incentivizing. Oh yeah, belch. Excuse me.
The loot.
Some of the loot that already exists in the game, maybe buff it.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I think so.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the game long term. I think it will
So
have
what's
the
our
legs.
what's our 5-step plan for getting Destiny 2 back on track? Here's step
I
one.
know, that's very
Step
true.
one is tether loot with unique perks to content.
True.
Tether loot that I want and need, even if it's just to try out something funky, to specific content. I think we're starting to see that with Trials of the Nine, being able to buy it with legendary shards in Season 2.
Yep.
But I want to see that to a greater extent, especially in PvE. Step 2,
But have those weapons be good weapons. They can't just be random, like, hey, here
or
you go,
like,
here's a
or
custom
how about
weapon.
armor exotics, or
Or that
even
too.
legendaries?
Yeah, that's it.
Um,
That's step 2.
Sure. Step 2
So we find this Vex teleporter.
is
Shut it down. Easy.
put a ship and a sparrow in the raid. Raid specific ship and sparrow random drop, another incentive to do it.
Which they did in Destiny 1.
Sure, I can't believe that's not there. Like
know.
that's something you can fix and add to the loot tables, and I'll go and farm that raid until I get that because that's what I want.
Yep.
All anything again, I've said this a bunch, but all any ship or sparrow says about me right now is that I opened a bright engram. And
Yeah.
that's just not a story worth telling.
Nope, that's very true.
All right, step 3,
This stuff is organic.
I think for me has to be
Pure robot.
re-examine the Crucible playlist and kind of
Oh.
re-examine what
100%.
fun PvP is. Like,
Yep.
at some point, you really don't care about like the meta or testing out your gear or being competitive. I think before that, I think it has to be fun.
Yep.
And I think ask the basic question: is this fun? And I think some games are fun in Crucible, and I think some games are a little stale.
Yeah, well, and that's to me one of the fundamental things that Destiny did right with Destiny 1, is that Crucible was fun. It felt a little off balance for sure, but I think that's the problem now. Is everything feels too balanced, so nobody feels that super. You can pop a super and then you're dead in 10 seconds after if you don't pop it behind cover. It just feels all the time like you're about to get destroyed by a team, super or not. So, fully agree. And the game modes. They need to flesh out the game modes.
Yeah.
It needs to be, I want to play Control, I want to play Bash, I want to play Elimination, I want to play Rumble, please. Please
All right.
bring back Rumble.
Step 4, create stratified vendor gear.
What could have
Give me a clear progression to what I can attain from a vendor and why I should be doing it.
Yep.
I can't take the credit for this. This is something that a Reddit user came up with in an awesome little diagram showing
I saw that.
hey, what if Devram K, you could buy this when you got this reputation and this when you got that reputation. It was a bunch of different things. It was like shaders and weapons and Sparrow. So I think remove the loot box system. A vendor should have more than one thing to purchase, and I just don't think it's fun to turn in all these coins and just get the same stuff over and over again.
Again, Destiny 1, every vendor not only had items, but most of them even had bounties to pick up and do. Like
Sure.
Shaxx allowed you to do custom bounties for him that would grind up your XP so you could get weapon drops and stuff like that. So, yeah, not sure why that was taken out.
Step 5, and the final step, I think, for me, this is more of a personal one and one that I don't think everybody will agree with, but I would love to see some kind of somewhat randomized PvE content that has its own rewards. Kind of like a more competitive team-based PvE thing that maybe has random tile sets, almost like a Greater Rift in Diablo 3. With a random boss at the end. I think you need content to satiate the PvE player base in between these big content drops.
Yeah.
And I think the only way to do that, obviously this isn't a mode that's going to last forever and keep everybody engaged, but you can try, I think, to make some of the content there. Hey, let's try some kind of crazy time rush thing that is not a handmade experience, but is a little bit more procedural.
Yeah.
That works really well when it's accented by a really good handmade strike and raid content.
Now you didn't play much of Destiny 1 hardly at all, right? You did
No.
a little bit, right?
So is that what Prison of the Elders
So that's
was?
what Prison of
There you
Elders
go.
was. Yeah, basically custom maps. It would change either from week to week or depending on the level that you were at. It would have different modes, but usually rotated between those 5 to 8 different
Sure.
type of bosses or worlds. So yeah, and actually, for the most part, that was not too bad. As a PvP guy first, I wasn't super engaged in that long term. I did it to get the rewards, but it was nice at the time because it allowed you to get custom things from it, allowed you to play with your friends, and it gave you specific loot and drops from it.
Right.
Ships
And again, that content is supplementary. It's not
Yeah.
meant to be the end-all, be-all, the thing that people are most excited about, but it is stuff that that people are interested in. What does that look for, Alexia?
Yep. Oh, Alexia wants in on this.
He wants to come play some Destiny, dude. Get in here. Okay, so in summation, number 1, tether loot to content. Make content-specific loot. Number 2, give the raid expressly a Sparrow and a ship that you can't get anywhere else. Number 3, revamp the vendors. Give me specific things I can buy. Number 4, what was number 4?
Number 4, multiple playlists in Crucible.
Multiple playlists in Crucible, and then finally number 5 is some kind of procedural PvE mode that kind of supplements the content routes if folks want to play it. Of course, another alternative to that PvE supplementary procedural mode is the Forge.
Yep.
You made it. You could bring it to Destiny, and the fact that this game is so social, I just think that works really well. You could just mess around and build some silly level to Sparrow race on or something.
Yeah. Again, a Bungie created thing in Halo 3.
Sure.
When Forge came out, it was actually incredible.
And it got better and better. I mean, obviously
did.
that's not all Bungie, but
yeah.
So I think that could be something that's really cool, and that it allow players to create their own content, some thing. And again, the key here is none of these are the answer. There is no the answer.
Yeah.
I've seen the MMO genre search for 15 years to try and find the answer of not having to make put any resources into content creation and have replayable content. to infinity,
Yeah.
and that just doesn't exist. But what you can do is use that procedural content, and that kind of longer-ended, make-your-own-experience content to supplement the droughts in between resources. So that's my 5-step plan to, I think, getting Destiny 2's endgame back on track. And I would imagine that the majority of the player base would echo those sentiments for the most part, with their own twists, I'm sure.
For sure. I mean, I think the biggest challenge is like how soon. Like, I mean, that's everybody's.
It could be a
major
year.
concern.
Just get it right.
Can
That's
it be
more
a year?
important.
Can it
Sure.
be a year?
Look what happened with. How can you say that? Look what happened with the Taken King.
Oh no, I'm not saying it can't
Oh.
be, but I'm saying like for the most part, like if that content wasn't created until next year, I mean, I think what you're forgetting or didn't really experience is that Destiny 1 still did a lot of things from a content standpoint early on before they did all those upgrades, right? So I don't think that you could wait for a whole year.
No,
right
but I
now
think it
in
would
this
probably
current
take a year
iteration.
to. I think it would take some time. It's a resource investment to put in that content that is going to supplement your future droughts, and that's
Right.
why a 10-year plan is a good idea as opposed to like working on the next installment.
So this is a conversation I've had with many people, and I've
Sure.
often wondered whether or not
There will be a Destiny.
Well, will there? Yeah,
I'm sure.
I mean, and that's-
Unfortunately, for all of us.
So for
because
me-
I think it's an objective detriment. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's getting anything out of that.
Yeah, and that's where it's like I understand that when they made Destiny 1, they probably had certain systems in place. They were also like, catering to the previous console generation, all that stuff. But I actually like the movements, the mechanics, the way Destiny 1 worked, and it took a good couple years to get to that point. And now you eliminate all these raids, all this, material. I think that looks
Sure.
that again, I think that had they been able to either iterate on, maybe the power weapon slot, like I don't know how they would have done that, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
know how they would have continued it and then kept it going, maybe the way that they wanted to do this, but I mean, that's what I was hoping for. I was
Right.
hoping for Destiny 1 to continue for the next 7 to 10 years and then them do something else, either a different game or something along those lines.
Sure. So let's take a look at World of Warcraft's content for a hot second, and its most recent content. It's taken them 14 years.
We made it an hour and 30
Yeah, it's
minutes.
very
Not
good.
too bad. Not too bad.
With what they've done. They've tried everything under the sun with, like challenge mode dungeons, just an enormity of different PvE content. But recently, I think they really hit the nail on the head with Legion. And the activity numbers for Legion, I think, are much more forgiving than Warlords of Draenor. And what they did with Warlords of Draenor was they launched Draenor and they were like, all right, next expansion. We're trying to hit an annual expansion cadence. And it was too much. They couldn't do it. And as a result, there was a time when people were paying $15 a month for a year and 2 months and didn't receive any additional content.
Right.
Which,
That's
do the math
no
on
good.
that, that's $150.
That's a lot of cash.
So, don't make that same mistake. I think you need to be focusing on the game and what players want now and trying to keep them satiated in some extent. And I think it's better than to have an expansion every year for Destiny as opposed to an expansion every 6 months or every 3 months if we can get some big systematic overhauls that are going to keep players invested longer.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the challenge even right now. It's like just thinking that there's an initial DLC already in the first 2 months. It's like, or 3 months, right? By the time December rolls around. I know that some people are upset about that. I expect that from Destiny now, but
Sure.
it's too bad that some of the things that we're talking about, again, like you say, are not necessarily a content problem.
They're not.
They're an incentive problem.
And
There's lots of
is the
stuff to
DLC
do.
going to fix that? Is that
That's a
if
good
that's the
question.
content in the DLC, I'm overjoyed, but I really don't think it is. I think it's
Yeah.
conventional content like new missions, maybe
Yeah.
a new faction to like turn in tokens to.
Yeah.
Ugh, I want to vomit when I think about having another vendor to turn in tokens to
No.
get who knows what for why. Why am I
Yeah.
doing it? Who cares?
No.
So,
it can't be that. They gotta rework that
the
stuff.
reason Reaper of Souls was like saved Diablo 3 is not because Malthael was cool and not because they added Act 5, because they added Loot 2.0, because they added Rifts and Greater Rifts, because they revamped class sets and what it meant to be a certain build. They looked at abilities. It was systematic stuff that improved the game as opposed to just adding more.
Yeah.
I think you're only in a position where you can add more content when you figured out that basic stuff that Destiny 2 has not figured out yet.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. They have figured it out. They just didn't put it in it.
Sure.
Like it was Destiny 1, like Etheric Light in year 1 versus the infusion system, like when Taken King rolled around. Like you had all this material and you had no way to level it up. And then they're like, hey, here you go. There's the infusion system.
Sure.
Whoa. I mean, and even early on in Destiny 1, I remember everybody logging on to this game going, Oh,
See how big this mag is?
yeah, it's crazy. I have a
It's the word.
hunter. Can I trade in this thing? And I mean, that was a legitimate question for like the first few weeks of Destiny 1. It was like, hey, I got all this Titan gear. Why am I getting this to drop?
Right.
Can I do something with it?
That was something that was
you just
straight up in
break it
Diablo
down.
3 too. You'd like get a legendary and it wouldn't be for your class, and you're
Yeah.
like, I hate this. Why is this
I
even
know,
a thing?
it was so weird. But then, yeah, so then after that, those were some of the incentives for making multiple characters, right? You want to just see what it's like. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So now I know why the guy feels so much bigger is because your perspective.
Yeah.
Because when you change the
FOV.
field of view,
Yeah.
like everything
whole
just
game
feels
just
like
feels
a wide
great,
angle
yeah.
lens at like close range. That's why. I was like, why does this feel larger than life?
So folks who are watching us kind of complain about this endgame, what are the takeaways from the stream? Yes, the endgame is messed up, and yes, it's going to be a while before I think it's in a good spot, if it is ever in a good spot.
Yeah.
But that's not to say they don't have a fantastic foundation here. Like the FOV, the unlimited FPS, the optimization, the controls,
Yeah.
how combat feels.
A lot of good stuff
The
in VC.
very, very core stuff feels very good.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm interested in playing this. If the shooting was whack, like I wouldn't be playing this.
Yeah,
if there was no
100%.
interesting itemization.
Yeah.
I actually think the Division ended up in a pretty good spot in terms of itemization after a lot of iteration.
But again, that's another one of those games where it
Didn't
took
feel
too
good.
long.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Well-
it took too long. Like it dropped off. I mean, I played the Division early on, and it's just like I wasn't engaged. I moved on to other things, right? And I
Yeah.
understand that it got better after.
And let's be honest, like the Division does not have the same pull as Destiny.
Right.
So,
The fan base is
and
there.
and that's something that you work at from a PR perspective and a development perspective, where you create this content. I'm sorry, instead of creating this content, you revamp your systematic stuff. You get your progression to a good place. You get these changes to the core things that are going to keep people playing in a really good spot,
Yeah.
and then you accent it with this big launch of an expansion, and that re-engages the player base. And they come for the content and this cool new campaign or this cool new class or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they stay for the systematic overhauls that you made with the game.
Yeah.
That's just the Blizzard way.
So I will say this. One of the things I was very surprised about. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet. Obviously.
Oh boy, are you going to say this?
Yeah. Should I
gonna
say
say
it
it
or
or no,
no?
man?
Okay.
Like, I avoided it
Maybe-
intentionally in my
maybe I will
preview.
not. Maybe I will not. Okay. Well, I was gonna say something if you're a console fan, but I guess now I can't. And then I can't say something else either.
I don't know. What's the something else?
Well, the class. Is that?
Oh no, like the subclasses?
Yeah.
No, that's not a spoiler. I don't
Okay.
think. The way the other thing is like, remember how you felt
Yeah,
when I
I know.
spoiled
Oh,
that for
I
you?
know. Okay. I won't say anything about this. So if you are a PC fan and you're new to Destiny on PC and you haven't played the console yet, I won't say anything. But it's been kind of hard to not say anything. When the
I know,
game's been
because
out for a month.
it's like you don't think about it.
No. So I will say then with the classes, they did a pretty good job at keeping it under wraps that there was a third class there. They made it only seem like you were going to have your two that were from the initial game, and they kind of like, left hidden the Taken King.
Perfect.
Oh, there you go.
Nobody can hurt. Oh, they can hurt me in here.
They left hidden the Taken King one. So it was neat how you found them in the middle of the campaign.
Yeah.
And you had them available to you. I've often wondered a different element type. I've been waiting for that to be implemented in the game. I'm thinking the next element
Slime.
is potentially, or like green, like Venom. Like
Yeah.
Thorn had like a Venom thing to it. So, and the Hunter is a snake. It's its logo. So I'm thinking like, okay, where's the Venom subclass? And that's probably something I would say maybe down the line, like in a year or
Sure.
something like that they might have that. But that is one of those. That's one of those
big
needs.
getting people back in the game, re-engaged features.
Yeah.
That again is very shallow unless you have the progression systems and the end game to back it up.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea for like, hey, how do we re-engage the player base?
Yeah.
Bungie has never had a problem with that. I think they've always known what the player wants from a very kind of gut, this looks cool standpoint.
Yeah.
I think the places where they've struggled have been like consistent itemization and kind of nailing a cadence of content. And that, to be fair, is where every developer, including Blizzard, struggles. It's just hard. It's not easy. Like it can never be easy. I think you always have to be trying, because World of Warcraft nailed it in Wrath of the Lich King, and then Burning Crusade was cool for other reasons. And then they lost it.
Yeah.
They lost it in Cataclysm. They lost it in. They kind of got it back in Mists, and then they super lost it in Warlords. That was kind of just a content thing, so maybe that's not fair. But the point there being, you can get to a place with your iteration where you're kind of in your own head too much and end up making something that your player base doesn't engage with. I just hope that Bungie is receptive to player feedback, and I think
they are.
that's what we're all anxious to see, and
Yeah.
I know they'll get there.
And that's the thing, they are. I mean, for the most part, it does take a little bit, and sometimes they even directly say, hey, we appreciate it, we're still going our own way, and I think they've done that in a lot of iterations from Destiny Year 2 to Year 3. But most of the iterations, that they have done in those years were fairly positive, and it was stuff that the community wanted. And again, I feel like it took a little bit to get there, but they did it right.
But this is good. Like, if they hadn't made these mistakes and kind of landed somewhere in the middle and people weren't having a voice when it came to the end game, like, I don't know that they would really recognize it as much of a problem as it is right now.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a good spot where, like, hey, we identified what we think could be improved the game, and we're going to work on it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And they're definitely level-headed dudes.
And they were silent, and that's the thing. I mean, they're amazing developers. That's one of the things that I kind of find still surprising. It's like you look at their track record, and it's so good, and there's still like so much venom right now about the end game. It's like it's Bungie. Like they've done amazing titles, and yet every time you still have to prove yourself. That I think is.
I can't imagine what somebody like Deej feels like.
Oh, dude, it must be infuriating.
It must be, because like
you make this game literally from like scrap. There's all this amazing stuff. I joke about it being like a Louis C.K. sketch. It's like everything is amazing and nobody's happy.
Sure.
Right,
but do I get? Is there the Division? Do I go on the Division's forum and write a 3-page post about how the itemization could be improved?
Probably
No.
not.
And so
that's the
this
side
venom,
of the
this
Bungie
venom that
community.
seems like, man, how did we end up with this toxic community?
Yeah.
It's not toxic. It's a place that's coming from a constructive. I'm sure they recognize that.
And they
but,
do
like,
know that. Yeah, it is one of those passionate.
people care, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That is such a blessing.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing. I think that they realize they need to engage with those people, obviously, because it's those are the people who are playing the game. Super Mage, shout you out. How's it going, man?
We got some questions on Twitch. We had some people asking some really good questions.
What are you guys feeling in general about the end game? Let us know here in the chat. We'll maybe read some of those. If you think it's good, I will say that from a Destiny 1 fan,
Sure.
And I am a fan of Destiny 1, everybody's like, oh, apologist. It's like, no, I genuinely was a fan of all assets and aspects of Destiny 1. I love the PvP, I love the raids, I love the social community, like the friend game loot joke, like that is legitimate. Like I've met some like genuine friends who I now play games with all online. I've met a couple of them in real life, like Stevru and Mountain. They came out to help us at E3 this past year. I met them playing Destiny.
Sure.
So again, not the right time, maybe. I think that's what we all kind of came to the conclusion of. It's like, hey, talk about your end game if it's a problem.
Controls got really weird there for a second.
Weird.
Anyway.
But I think for the most part, Destiny does have a very passionate community that,
Sure.
It's
You don't see that a lot. You see that in some
very
Blizzard
uncommon.
games, and that's like that. If you look at how much money they make and how receptive their feedback is, that's something that other developers and publishers would kill to have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a good thing. It's just I'm sure it's like abrasive at some point, but hey, I love that I can think something about this game and think that I'm so in tune with how this game should work, and then I go on the Reddit and I see the same thought from somebody else, and I feel validated, or I see a totally different thought and rethink the way that I should be thinking about how this game should work.
So that's what I was going to say, is that, I mean, like, again, being on Fireteam Chat, we talk about these issues a lot every week, and you've been on the last couple weeks as well.
Sure.
I've been trying to talk on behalf of, I hate to say talk on behalf of casuals, but there's a lot of new people involved in this game, and I've been playing with a lot of them, including a bunch of people at our office, like Zach and everybody else like that. People are genuinely enjoying the game who are not fans of Destiny 1, and you, example. So I've always kind of wondered, what was it about Destiny 1 that threw you off?
It was that I could just tell immediately from playing it that they had all these lessons to figure out, and it was going to be a long time before that content was there.
Yep.
But moreover, more than anything, I would have stuck with it had it been on PC. So now that it's on PC and it's in a cool spot in terms of the first, I'll say 40 to 60 hours of the game.
Yep.
The raid is great. The content is not the problem. The strikes are good.
Yep.
It's the stuff that keeps you redoing that stuff that needs work. And
so you'll hang around because it's on PC.
I'll absolutely hang around. Like I'm in it for the long haul. I'll grind out trials. I'm going to be doing all the content to try and get, because look, the rarest content in these games is the content. The rarest armor and weapons and things like that.
We're doing this custom activity stuff.
They're from the times when the player base was the least active.
Yeah.
So as a result,
Yeah.
like there's some really cool gear from Mists of Pandaria in World of Warcraft that nobody has because like nobody was playing. But that's I think that like they're doing a really good job with introducing patches and stuff like that. But they need to start showing us. I think that Twitch presentation was cool. That there's more stuff coming, but also like when they said there's going to be another vendor, we were just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like missions, especially adventures, could have higher power level modifications, or maybe getting lost sectors to scale with your power level. Mysterian, that's very good, actually. It's funny because Destiny 1 had some of that, especially early on, where it felt like, when you went into certain areas or engaged in certain activities, the bosses and everything felt a lot harder. It does not feel like that, really, in Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 anywhere, like, except for Nightfall. You're like, all of a sudden, this is really hard.
This guy's Neo all of a sudden. He's just dodging every shot.
Except for this guy.
I think that adventures just need their own incentives. Like, even if it's a ghost that keeps track of how many adventures I've done, like, that's a thing. Because there's just no reason to do adventures. They're not dropping luminous engrams, and by the time you're ready to, like, replay some stuff and do some adventures, you're already at the point where the only thing that's progressing you is luminous engrams and exotics.
Yeah. Yeah, Big Red was saying, and that's where I alluded to as well, Bungie doesn't need to prove themselves. They've done so with Halo 1 through 3 and Destiny, but feeling like the end game needs a little love. And that's the thing. It's like I don't doubt that anybody, feels like they can do it. And it's not difficult. It's just a matter of actually doing it. And so, I'm not concerned either, but I understand the sentiment where people feel a little bit disappointed with the current state.
I would love if Bungie were a smaller developer. It would be one of those scenarios. Well, first of all, they would never have been able to make a game like this, but they would have that clarity of like, look, we totally hear you, and here's what we're thinking of. What do you guys think? And it would be a lot more of a interactive process.
Yeah.
What I imagine will happen is it will just be an announcement, and people will go crazy and be like, this is great, and other people will be like, this isn't the right system, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the burden of big developers. The only time you see that kind of transparency is when the team is kind of small.
Yeah.
An example being Hearthstone's Team 5. Ben Brode is very open about talking about his thoughts in terms of balance, and his thoughts in terms of like game features and why they went one way or another. And that's refreshing.
Yeah.
But
360. Duggan joined for a potential Fire Team Chat trials run. Yeah, we should do a run, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I'll get my character leveled up on PC. I'm going to get into it here again as well. So.
And then
back to the grind.
I think it's the irony that
Back to the grind.
You are at a place where you can't progress on console, and so now you have to literally play the game on another platform
all over again.
Which is not a bad thing. Like, it's fun.
Now that I know a little bit about it.
It is a bad thing, but
well, no, I will say this. Like, one of those things that actually really surprised me is that I couldn't actually play through the campaign all over again without deleting a character.
And like,
just
we're doing the
little like Ikora's memories or whatever.
Oh, gotta pop this.
Yeah, it's so weird, the perspective with the field of view when you're up close.
Oh yeah, heroic.
There you go.
This guy's very tough on heroic when you're low level.
So yes, I will be grinding through. I am going to do a Titan this time. I mean, I am a hunter, and I do like hunter's mobility at the core. I love this. Go, how are you? Oh, dude!
I'm pretty
just
high.
Fall and die.
Oh, I'm good.
That's crazy.
Stuck the landing.
It looks so much higher.
Yeah. Well, I think I actually was really
that seems
at
very
that
high.
time.
But yeah, man, we'll have to do a trials run once we get all leveled up.
Super down.
Yeah,
and it's cool to see that you can more than compete on controllers. So like that is therefore it's not a deterrent for like. It's like, oh, this guy plays on a controller. He's doing fine.
I'm interested to see once, obviously, like the mouse keyboard guys get a little bit more ingrained in the Destiny culture and the gameplay. Like you said, once they figure out team shotting and everything else, will it be? There you go.
Strike a Titan.
What will it be like? But what? So what are your other? Do you have your arc class?
Yeah, but I would have to go. I have to do public events, and then I would have to go do the thing.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna switch to fusion.
Hideous.
Yeah, this is bad. I look like Burning Crusade. Anybody who's patchwork monstrosity.
360. Oh, join us, the Warlocks. Can't do it. Can't do it. I've been eyeing up a Titan for a little while. I played Titan overall, and I
was
think
gonna play a Warlock.
Or
And then I saw how
I
they looked
know.
with their armor,
I know.
and it's just they don't look.
You know,
it's not for me.
if it wasn't for the Hunter's lack of recovery and that stat, I would actually still love playing Hunter. I just think their mobility and the way they work and shade step and everything is really good. But yeah, Titans, you know, recovery and resilience. Like, I just am upset that I can't spec for high enough stats because of the way the gear drops. I lost a match a couple weekends ago, playing with my good buddy Steb and Ramblin', where the guy got onto a cap point and he was a Titan. And we had this little game of cat and mouse back and forth. And what killed me is his shield recharged faster than mine. So every time we got into an engage, you know, where we were almost dead, we would just back away. And every time he did it, he just kept on advancing to the cap point a little bit further than me. And that kind of stuff kind of sucks.
What was that was just his recovery stat?
It was his recovery. Yeah.
Because he's getting that gear from...
Well, just the way the Titan's equipped, you can go like max recovery at
Sure.
like 10, and the Hunter pretty much can't get anything to drop with like tons of recovery all around. The
Yeah,
highest
recovery is the stat, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's absurd. So, because half the time you spend running around in PvP hiding, waiting for your shield to reset, and that's the reason why it's not boring, but you're hiding and you're running, and it's like I don't like that part of Crucible right now.
and Warlocks have a tool to deal with it, although it like takes a very long time for that ability to come back up. That's why I really like that ability. I really like the idea that Warlocks are kind of this magic user / healer, which is always a cool archetype in sci-fi or fantasy. But it was just at some point I think preventative is better than reactive.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, and also like Titans just look dope and feel really good. And dude, the Striker Titan grenade, for those who have not played on PC.
Absurd. In general,
And you get two.
It doesn't make sense.
It's the most powerful grenade in the game, hands down, and you get two.
So that grenade right there, that's a grenade that makes me hate every other class because it's so disgusting. It's super powerful, and there should be no other grenade. Like, everybody should have at least one of those grenades, and the only character that has it is the Titan.
Yeah, it's really good. And then Striker Titan with the shoulder charge, which is nowhere near as powerful.
No. It was disgusting on Destiny 1. It's still pretty good.
It's like whatever, man. I actually think in a lot of instances you shoulder charge, it doesn't even bring down the shield, so you can't follow up with a melee or like even a headshot and be okay. What was that?
So with Destiny 1, there was
Oh my god, what's happening?
there was some weapons that had this perk called Icarus, and it allowed you basically to gain more accuracy when you're in the air, effectively eliminating blue.
Sure.
What I wish Hunters had just in their DNA is that they should have that Icarus perk. Like, the whole character, you know, subclass is based around mobility. Like, Hunter should just have that perk enabled, because if you jump shoot, that'd actually be a benefit. You know, again, it's another one of those mod situations. I feel like there's a missed opportunity with the mods where you could potentially add that as a perk if you wanted to. But yeah.
So slow.
Oh. There you go. Boom. Little AoE. Yeah.
The other great thing about shoulder charge is when those chests come down for public events, you can ram them and kill people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so
I enjoyed it.
So I like the fact that,
nobody
yeah,
said this,
with
huh?
your
I'm not gonna
striker
do a solo
ability,
this.
I wish the same thing with the Hunter with shade step. I wish unless you were close to them, it wouldn't take your shade step. Like, I don't know how often I just shade step in the middle of the fun, and I'm like, well, that's not good. But, yeah, it's just gone. But you can use your ability, and unless you connect with somebody, then it takes it away. Like, that was super clever.
This thing is really difficult to do heroic solo.
Oh yeah, can you do it solo?
I'm sure there are people who have.
I mean,
and look,
well, your light level,
no,
whatever.
Look
your
at this.
Power level, yeah.
All right, decommit. I wish I had a Sparrow. Oh, hey, look. Yeah.
Oh, there
fire
you go.
team. Yeah.
Teammates.
Thanks, guys. Let's shout these guys out. I'll look at their names in a sec.
All right, guys, what's up? We are heading into the final 5 minutes of the stream. If you have any questions, make sure you give us a shout out on YouTube
If
or
you
Twitch.
have a question that we didn't answer that you asked, just ask it once or twice in the chat right now. We'll try to get to it.
And see if I can.
So this is how you trigger the heroic on this, by the way. You shoot these vents. Man, it's really hard to get out, and basically does this big AoE damage thing.
Yeah. Oh, how mad am I that 100 guns against Trip Mines are still nerfed? Real mad, Big Red. Real mad. There's a bunch of other things, but that hurts. that hurts.
Yeah, you have that animosity with your class being
really
in a bad
do,
spot
man.
too.
It's
I have not
Yeah.
had that, so I can't even imagine.
It's hurt me because I mean, there's a lot of things that I like shape step across multiple subclasses, but overall, I feel like Hunter's got a serious nerve too. They believe they'll add that back. Okay, it's all right. Let's read a couple comments. There's a bunch of people asking questions. Some people commenting.
I'm just gonna die here. Yeah, I'm gonna die. No, okay, we're good. Look, just wipes the entire fire team. That AoE mode, because we're trying to trigger the heroic.
What field of view are you playing with again?
I am playing with 110 field of view.
110. Can you show us the opposite spectrum? Let's load it up and then go from 110 to. So just maybe bring it up, like, so you can see your character first before you do it.
Oh, okay.
So
Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah, let James respawn. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. So let's see your weapon, real quick.
Oh, you want me to change it? Let me finish this.
I
Let
want
me
to change it just so we can kind of see some.
We'll do it. We'll do it in the final minutes. But let me just see if we can trigger this heroic real quick.
Okay. So you're playing at 105, did you say?
Where's this? 110.
110. We're playing with 110.
We do it? We did it!
It definitely feels very wide.
I'm gonna die.
Oh,
that's okay.
James.
That's triggering this heroic in a nutshell, unless you're geared.
Yep.
All right. So now we have the heroic triggered. Why is it better to trigger heroic, CJ? What does it get you?
In this, I'm not even sure now.
More experience.
More XP, yeah, and early on, just
and
like
more tokens.
Yeah.
And then a higher chance for exotic loot
Later
or legendary
on.
loot.
Yeah.
Engram.
Whoa. Yeah, and more glimmer too.
Yep. Great. Okay, so let's loot this real quick. I'm very happy we got that, and heroic. Moreover, I got a level.
How
from
much wood could a woodchuck?
11. Okay.
There you go.
Good,
11.
Ooh, I got a nice
11.
nice AR too. Unfortunately, that's where my hand cannon is. Okay, so that's 110. Let's just take a look at the FOV. When I bring it all the way down to, oh goodness, 55.
All
This is
right.
gonna be terrible.
See?
It's like I'm playing with a zoom. Oh, I hate this. I hate this so much.
That's pretty crazy, the difference it makes.
So there's that. Okay, let's. I'm gonna
look
look.
and see what's in the frame.
I'm gonna look and keep. So here's this. That's gonna be in the frame, and we're
Yeah.
just gonna keep that right at the edge of the frame, right? We're gonna be looking over here, and let's
Okay.
go back and change it with the FOV.
So we see a tree and then the edge of the.
Let's crank that all the way up.
All right, I'm even gonna take a screenshot of this.
Literally doubling the FOV to
Yep.
105.
Why?
So
Whoa!
we can see, yeah,
That's
quite a
crazy.
bit difference.
That's insane.
So that thing we just saw the edge of, and now
Wow.
we can see almost all of it. Granted, this is not 180 FOV. This is not.
That's insane.
But like this is, I think this is good. This is right about where I'd want to play on the high end of it.
Yeah.
You can, we didn't really do this, but let's just really quickly fart around in the options menu. VSync, very divisive. You can turn that off, uncap your frame rate. I notice 0 input delay with VSync on, and I do in other games. So I don't know. I'll probably play with it off at home though. Screen bounds, obviously. Anti-aliasing you can change. All of these cool things. And then also worth noting is you can also change all your key bindings, which I love. Gameplay, invite notifications, there's a bunch of stuff here. You can also do stuff like go into the configuration file in Windows and set an FPS limiter.
Yep.
If you don't want to play with VSync on, but you do want to limit your FPS, or if you want to run it an increment that they don't support in the menus, you can change it to like 239 if you have a 240 refresh rate monitor. So
Yep.
it's good from a technical perspective and like a foundation that they can build on later. I think the PC version is in a really good spot. But be warned, there's a shallow end game, and also no general chat, no clan chat right now. Clan chat is coming though, and then also aim assist for controllers and Zim. Definitely a divisive thing, but something you should be aware of if you're considering buying it. And I think we got about 2 minutes here. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was most of the questions. Yes, and a couple people are saying, now that you're into the PC, will James be showing up on Fireteam Chat? I'm sure you will.
Oh, yeah.
He's already been on the last couple episodes. Definitely, I would say that be on there more often than is Destin's call.
Yes,
but,
and
we're also very busy with playing the game and doing a bunch of features and stuff for it as well too. So
we're in an interesting scenario here where we have so many people playing Destiny and interested in Destiny that we can really have a rotating roster. But I'll definitely be making appearances in episodes when I have something to say, and then I'll kind of miss the ones where I would just be talking out of my butt.
Even the rest of us, I mean, for the most part, a lot of times, we're at events covering things and back and forth, and so sometimes we're on here every Friday. So yeah, it's nice to have a bunch of people who are in there.
There is no Leviathan up there for the raid. But in the PC preview I played, it was up there.
You could see it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that now from playing Necessary. Cool. I'm not sure if there's any other questions.
Take one more look.
Time
Time for one more.
Tips? I'm not sure. He just installed Destiny on PC. He's stuck into signing in. I don't know. Do you have any issues logging on or signing in?
So signing in will be the battle.net, like that's Blizzard's authentication servers. If you're stuck signing into the actual Destiny game and not the launcher, that's going to be on Bungie's side. In any case, keep at it. I would totally restart your client. I didn't have a queue, though when Destin tried to play very early on, he said that it was at capacity, but that was not my experience. So my recommendation would probably be to either restart your launcher computer, otherwise keep at it, and then go to Reddit, the Destiny subreddit, and check the new Hot or Rising to see if anybody else is having that same issue. Worst case scenario, go on the forums.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. I think that's about it.
Yes.
Fun, man.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm going to be playing this game very actively, and I'm really happy that the PC folks who I know are going to be interested in this experience can get in there and check it out. And once again, for the full review, you can check out Destin Legari's review PC impressions. He's working on those. If you want kind of like a where should I fall on this general thing, you can check out something called 5 Things You Should Know About Destiny 2 PC. That's a feature that I wrote talking about aim assist in general chat. CJ Gibson to my left, the video guy, the controller guy who did very well with controller. I'm James Duggan. What's your Twitter?
At Gibson Films, and make sure you, if you are a Destiny fan, Fridays at 5 p.m. Fireteam Chat, youtube.com/Fireteam Chat. Make sure you check us out there. So yeah, we'll be online playing again. I am James Duggan at Duggan Duggan, THUGGNDUGGN for all things Destiny and shared world shooters. Keep it right here on IGN. Take care, guys.